Absolutely, look. Just read this book and it'll tell you everything you need to know.
There's another N-word we throw around in and out of the black community called napping. We have taken that word like the other N-word, nigger, and made it a word of adornment. I have heard the word napping my entire life, which was used to insult, degrade, and hurt someone. This word is a derogatory term that was used in our ancestors to insult people.
Available now.
I love myself.
Same tree, different brand.
I hope you love yourself, because love is only love when you love somebody else.
What hair looks like after slavery. Transatlantic slave trade. The transatlantic slave trade by the European changes everything for Central and West Africans. Let's briefly talk about the transatlantic slave trade. The Portuguese and later the English, the French, and the Dutch got involved in enslaving Africans in large parts of West Africa, the Gulf Coast of Guyana, and the Congo River Basin, were significant areas of human exports to the Americas, mostly to sugar plantations in the Caribbean. By the late 17th century, the so-called triangle trade developed. European ships loaded with guns, textiles, tobacco, and manufacturing goods sailed to Africa slave ports and traded those goods for captives. European slave traders then took those Africans to the New World, where they were sold. With that money, the Europeans purchased staples such as sugar, tobacco, rum, and coffee, then sold for enormous profits back in Europe. The profits was often reinvested in other goods to be traded for captives back in Africa, and so on. If you want more in-depth information on the transatlantic slave trade, I recommend you read Hugh Thomas' book titled The Slave Trade: The Story of the Atlantic Slave Trade 1440 through 1870. This is a thick book, roughly 912 pages, and worth sacrificing some of your time to read. The book is almost the same price as a supersized combo from a fast food restaurant, destroying the image of African hair. Europeans who had traded and communicated with Africans knew the complexity and the significance of black hair. They were often struck by the various hairstyles that they saw within each community. In an effort to dehumanize and break the African spirit, Europeans shaved the heads of enslaved Africans upon arrival to the Americas. This was not merely a random act, but a symbolic removal of African culture. The shaving of the hair represents the removal of any trace of African identity and further acts to dehumanize.
I went mute. Yeah, it went mute on me. I was on mute, but it went mute. But anyway, you can hear me now. I said peace to everybody out there, man. Appreciate everybody tapping in. Like the show, share the show, tell a friend we're live. I am about to demonstrate today why people like Top Catz, Aboriginal Power, Autonomous One, Smoke Signal Root Words, the research guy, Dan Calloway, well, he don't claim to be Aboriginal. He just claims some bullshit. But all of these people, Phoenix Moore, whoever they are, Bethany, whoever got a name that's in this community that, well, whoever y'all have allowed to access and gain a name in this community, by being on shows such as the pseudo Black News 102 or pseudo TV. However it goes, right? I don't care how nobody feels. That platform allows people that birth pseudos. Look at the young Pharaoh situation. You don't have a young Pharaoh unless someone gives them access to demonstrate and speak. And so all of these dudes that show up on these channels, I'm just going to give it to you straight. I'm about to demonstrate to you why they are not Aboriginal or Indigenous to the Americas. I don't want to hear that genealogy bullshit. Genealogy does not tell your biological makeup. I'm going to say it again. Genealogy does not tell you your biological makeup. Genealogy tells a partial piece of a biased story because you're only looking for information to substantiate what the fuck your grandmother told you. Excuse my French. I'm going to speak French and Spanish during this build. So if you are under the age of 18, which you have the internet these days and YouTube, they cuss more than a sailor. You might hear some explicit words, and I apologize to the parents, especially those of you who tune in, right, to get the proper edification. So, again, I am going to demonstrate unequivocally, without a shadow of a doubt, how these actors are not who they say they are. Yeah. Now, at the conclusion of this bill, you will have your own decisions to make. You will be provided all the information that is adequate enough for you to come to your conclusion, whatever that may be. But before we get into the bill, I really need y'all to like the show, share the show, tell a friend, tell a friend. We are live. All right, so let me acknowledge Rob Rich. Peace to you, bro. Vasa, Infinite Minds. The Bar Reloaded is in the building. Brother Lavelle. Juju is in the building. Ali is in the building. Too Smooth was good. Khalil, I see you, my brother. Do whole effing show. The whole effing show is in the building. There's a couple of other. Edward was good with you, brother. There's some people that have not commented in the chat. There's some people that hopped in, hopped out, hopped back in, hopped out. Whatever the case may be, peace to all of you onlookers and those of you who will catch the replay. Please like the show, share the show. Again, the title is Aboriginal Power. Top cats in the Abo community are not indigenous to North, Central, or South America. And I am going to demonstrate that. I'm gonna tell you why they're not. Here in just a second. So let me share my screen. And let me start this opening argument. This is how I'm starting. It's my opening argument right here. Let me zoom in for y'all to be able to see it. You should be able to see it really good. Let me check and make sure that y'all can see that really good. One more zoom. All right, okay, boom. Everybody can now officially see this very well. Okay, so I want to talk about phenotype. In this report that we're looking at, it's called Genes and Complex Human Phenotypes. It's a final report. There's a few things in this report that we're going to discuss, but I want to start right here at this process integrates over history in some way. And I'm going to start at this line right here. It says, The phenotypic history and the individual in ontogeny, I think you're all familiar with. For the external environment, there are hierarchies. We have the individual environment, family, society, and so forth. For the genotype, we tend to think of genes as handed down, but genes are actually dynamic entities that change expression through the course of life. They change epigenetic state, and finally, and this is largely ignored, they change network state. That is, we are born with a set of genes, but these genes do not have the same function across a lifespan. Early in life, certain genes are involved in development, but later in life, these genes have different functions. So there's two things that I am dealing with today. One being your phenotype, right? And your genotype. These are very key, okay? Now, why am I dealing with this? Because when you're talking to these people who claim to be indigenous or aboriginal to the Americas, right? These guys, the top cats, the aboriginal ones, the autonomous aboriginal power, autonomous, whatever the hell they want to call their names, right? Those people, they're the loudest in the room right now, right? There's two things that they will not argue. Well, one thing for sure they will not argue over, and that is skin tone. They are a look-see type of a people. Now, genotype, they might call into question because they are too ignorant to understand the functionalities of the human body. They don't look at biology, but they acknowledge that there's a biological presence. They should. If they do not, I just haven't heard them really express such, so I will not put that on them. Now, typically we think of phenotype as something we can measure: blood pressure, height, weight. Then we have some outcome of interest, and we want to see what relationship might exist between the phenotype and the outcome of interest. It has become very common to use the genome-wide association studies to do this kind of analysis. In these studies, a singular nucleotide polymorphism, that's what they call SNPs, are examined. A number of SNPs are chosen in a number of people for a number of phenotypes. The number of SNPs chosen and technology driven at a present time, we can choose from about a few million to a billion SNPs, though the genome has well over a billion SNPs. The number of people chosen is limited by cost as studies are grant driven. Finally, the number of phenotypes chosen are limited by sample design, cost, and permission. There is a lot of attention given to the hereditability, which is perhaps overblown. Hereditability describes how much of the observed phenotype variation is due to the genes in some specific context. So it is actually an estimator under fairly specific conditions. As a result, hereditability is not usually a useful or reliable guide to evolution. Furthermore, estimations is problematic, and there is no or little biology involved in the process. Let me stop right there. Let's transition a little bit forward and let's get into our build. And I wanted to define two things, but I'm gonna do this a little bit different because I'm about to go somewhere. All right, so now we're gonna look at another source. That's our introduction. We're beyond the introduction of it. Now we're about to align some things. So I do see that we have the slow person in the chat today, and he will not be able to refute shit. So do not engage in his ignorance. Once again, I shall tell you that he and others like him will not be able to refute anything today, right? Because we're dealing with phenotype and genes. And we're going to get them out of here real easy, okay? Now, the human phenotype ontology, a tool for annotating and analyzing human hereditary disease. But we're not going to get into all of that. I'm actually going to come back to this, but I do want to read the first paragraph so you'll get an idea of why I even presented this to you. Analysis of the phenotypic correlates of gene mutation has long been an essential method for discovering biological functions of genes. And more recently, computational analysis of mice phenotypes related to gene mutations has become possible with tools such as the Mammalia Phenotype Ontology, what they call the MPO. The phenotypic analysis has played a central role in the mapping of disease genes and many other fields. And humans are particularly good at recognizing human phenotypic traits and anomalies. However, there are a number of unresolved issues surrounding the computational description and analysis of human phenotypes. So now you can kind of see where this is going. It's dealing with phenotypes. It's also dealing with genes, but more importantly, the disease emphasis in those particular areas. So let's break down what the hell is phenotype. Updated on the 23rd, I'm going to allow the narration to speak while I take a sip of my Gatorade.
Phenotype simply refers to an observable trait. Pheno simply means observe, and it comes from the same root of the word phenomenon, and so it's an observable type of an organism, and it can refer to anything from a common trait such as height or hair color to presence or absence of a disease. Frequently, phenotypes are related and used, the term is used to relate a difference in DNA sequence among individuals with a difference in trait, be it height or hair color or disease or what have you. But it's important to remember that phenotypes are equally and sometimes even more greatly influenced by environmental effects than genetic effects. So a phenotype can be directly related to a genotype, but not necessarily. There's usually not a one-to-one correlation between a genotype and a phenotype. There's almost always environmental influences, such as what one eats, how much one exercises, how much one smokes, etc. All of those are environmental influences which will affect the phenotype as well.
All righty. So again, phenotype, right? We're dealing with organisms. You're looking at your skin color. You're looking at your height. You're looking at your hair. You're looking at, you might look at eyes. Something distinctly about your physical trait, your phenotype that can be looked at. So you need to know that. But they also look at the disease and your DNA sequences for disease and so forth. So there was something very significant that was said toward the end, the things that actually can affect your phenotype. And it was mentioned the environment can affect your phenotype. Also, smoking, exercising, what you eat, those things correlate in affecting your phenotype. So I wanted to make sure that we're clear on what is a phenotype. So again, phenotype.
Phenotype. Phenotype refers to an individual's observable traits such as height, eye color, or blood type. A person's phenotype is determined by both their genomic makeup, or genotype, and environmental factors.
All right, so you got a general idea, again, of what phenotype is, ladies and gentlemen. So let's deal with genotype. All right, so again, there you go. We have a good definition. There's also some examples. So let's elaborate a little bit. Hold up. So y'all let me play that and y'all tell them that y'all couldn't get no audio. Man, y'all tripping, bro. Let me do it like this. Share screen, whole screen. Let me go back over phenotype.
Phenotype. Phenotype refers to an individual's observable traits such as height, eye color, or blood type. A person's phenotype is determined by both their genomic makeup, or genotype, and environmental factors.
All right, so you should be able to hit. Hold up. Let me play it all the way through again. Let me see. Can y'all hear this?
Phenotype simply refers to an observable trait. Pheno simply means observe. It comes from the same root of the word phenomenon. And so it's an observable type of an organism. And it can refer to anything from a common trait such as height or hair color to presence or absence of a disease. Frequently, phenotypes are related and used, the term is used to relate a difference in DNA sequence among individuals with a difference in trait, be it height or hair color or disease or what have you. But it's important to remember that phenotypes are equally and sometimes even more greatly influenced by environmental effects than genetic effects. So a phenotype can be directly related to a genotype, but not necessarily. There's usually not a one-to-one correlation between a genotype and a phenotype. There's almost always environmental influences, such as what one eats, how much one exercises, how much one smokes, etc. All of those are environmental influences which will affect the phenotype as well.
All right, now.
Genotype. A genotype is a scoring of the type of variant present at a given location, i.e., a locus in the genome. It can be represented by symbols, for example, uppercase B, uppercase B, uppercase B, lowercase b, lowercase b, lowercase b, could be used to represent a given variant in a gene. Genotypes can also be represented by the actual DNA sequence at a specific location, such as CC, CT, or TT. DNA sequencing and other methods can be used to determine the genotypes at millions of locations in a genome in a single experiment. Some genotypes contribute to an individual's observable traits, called the phenotype. Genotype. Imagine that your friend is reading some text out of a book and you're writing it down. The text is, "It was a dark and stormy night." You might ask, what is the second word? Your friend reads the text and says, "was." In this example, your friend is reading the text and telling you what is present at a certain position in the sentence. In a different sentence, the word might be blue or windy. For DNA, the genotype is simply the specific information encoded at a given position in the genome. Like the sentence example, there can be misspellings. For the example sentence, perhaps the word was is spelled W-A-Z in the book. For DNA, a genotype misspelling is sometimes called a mutation and may have consequences for health and well-being.
All righty. So now we got a clear understanding of that. Let's move on a little bit and let's talk about the genotype conception of heredity. And basically what I am doing right now is, for those of you who don't understand proper methodology, but you like to use this word on your shows and on panels that you go hop on and talk like you want to sound like you're educated. You want to sound like you understand these concepts. You want to sound like you really know what you're talking about to an audience full of ignorant people. Well, over here on this side, we actually know what these things mean. So what I am doing, if you're not paying attention, I started with an introduction. Then I began to introduce an argument. And I told you what my agenda was. And now we are defining certain words. And now we are about to get a little bit further into the argument. And I'm going to allow you to come to an honest conclusion based on the data presented. Okay, I'm not going to make your mind up for you. You can refuse the data. You can refuse the evidence all you want to, but that'll be your cognitive dissonance kicking in. That'll be your belief kicking in. That'll be your perception kicking in. And that'll be you voiding the evidence that has been presented today, which is one of the reasons why y'all like to lie so much. I know it gets you money. I understand that. Those of y'all with YouTube channels claiming to be indigenous or aboriginal to North America, I know it gets you paid. I'm not trying to stop your hustle. But if you got a lot to get money, that's a messed up thing, man. What? I don't even, never mind. I ain't even gonna ask you none of that. But anyway, let's move on. So I'm talking about biology, right? And in biology, we're going to deal with the framework of who you are as a human being and why you are not North, Central, or South American. You're not indigenous or aboriginal to this land. Not North, Central, or South. You wasn't in none of this shit. Okay? So let's get that clear. So we're going to do what y'all like to do best. We're going to look, but we're going to do it with science. Biology has evidently borrowed the terms heredity and inheritance from everyday language, in which the meaning of those words is the transmission of money or things, rights or duties, or even ideas and knowledge from one person to another or to some others, the heirs or the inheritors. The transmission of properties. These may be things owned or peculiar qualities from parents to their children, or from more or less remote ancestors to these descendants, have been regarded as an essential point in the discussion of heredity. In biology, as in the jurisprudence, here we have nothing to do with the latter. As to biology, the students of this science have again and again tried to conceive or explain the presumed transmission of general and peculiar characters and qualities inherited from parents or more remote ancestors. I want to say this again. I want to be clear. The students of this science is referring to biology, have again and again tried to conceive or explain the presumed transmission of general or peculiar characters and qualities that you inherit from your parents or even more remote ancestors. The view of natural inheritance as realized by an act of transmission, viz. The transmission of parents or ancestors, personal qualities to the progeny, is the most naive or oldest conception of heredity. We find it clearly developed by Hippocrates, who suggested that the different parts of the body may produce substances which join in the sexual organs where reproductive matter is formed. Darwin's hypothesis of pangenesis is at this point very consistent with the Hippocratic view, the personal qualities of the parent or the ancestor in question being heritage. Also, the Lamarckian view of the heredity acquired characters is the accordance with those old conceptions. The current popular definition of heredity as a certain degree of resemblance between parents and offspring, or generally speaking, between ancestors and descendants, bears the stamp of the same conception, and so do the modern biometrical definitions of heredity, as the degree of the correlation between the abnormality of the parent and offspring. In all these cases, we meet the conception that the personal qualities of an individual organism are the true heritable elements of traits. Let me stop real quick. I don't want to lose y'all. So I want to keep this shit real nice, real nice and precise, right? Instead of us talking about history and other elements of things that are pertained up under the umbrella of history, And we know that these dudes who claim to be Aboriginal or Indigenous or have always been in the Americas, we're going to take from them what they do best. Since they like to look at shit and they keep talking about observation and they keep trying to sound intelligent and they like to use words like methodology, framework, and yada, yada, yada. Y'all heard Aboriginal Power when he talk. He try to sound so prolific, but be fucking shit up because he don't know what it means. And he never exercises or demonstrates those capabilities of being able to sound smart. He uses methodology so much now, so I wonder where the fuck he got it from. Because he don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Him or a timeless one. So basically in this, we're talking about heredity. We're talking about things that you can inherit from your parents and from your ancestors. That is what this whole paragraph is about. So ladies and gentlemen, I need to remind you that I specifically told every last one of y'all the reason that we're here today. And that is for me to show you how Aboriginal Power, Top Catz, and the whole Aboriginal community are not indigenous to North, Central, or South America. And we're going to use observation to end the argument and other elements. I'm taking you through it. I'm taking you through my methodology, but I'm also answering the research question and I'm putting it to you straight. Okay? I'm going to let you draw your own conclusion, but I'm going to present the information. So now you know what a phenotype is. You should know what the genotype is. You should know what a hereditary is and how it is key in the whole transmission of who you are biologically, because you inherit shit from your parents and your parents' parents and other ancestors in your lineage. Focus, ladies and gentlemen. I need you to focus on something essential that I said. I'm going to say it one more time because I need to drive this point home. We are dealing with the biological makeup of the idiots that we talk to online every day and try to reason with their audiences and educate their kids. Because we ain't focused on them. We're trying to reach their children. So now, again, you know, you should know what phenotype is, what genotype is. You should also know what heredity is. You should also know what the transmission of that heredity is, because we're talking biological makeup, which means that all of these people who claim to be indigenous to North, Central, and South America that be on these channels that y'all watch should inherit, I'm going to say it again, they should inherit the transmission of specific genes and traits from their parents and their ancestors. So now that you know the framework of the argument, it is laid out in front of you, I will proceed. Now, a few months ago, I introduced this article to everyone talking about the Native American inherited lip-shaped gene from the Genotypes. Everybody thought I was out of my mind. Some of them wanted to deny that. So I'm gonna skip right over it and go to the genes again. I want to remind everyone about the genes. So if this is your first time hearing this information, I am going to be specific. There are two specific genes that they inherit from the Denovicens and the extinct sister group of the Neanderthals. Lips and jaw. The brow shape. Right? So let me introduce the genes to you. You have the TBX15. The TBX15 gene. Remember, we're talking phenotype and we're talking genotype. So ladies and gentlemen, the people that have been in the Americas possess the TBX15 gene. Notice how I got quiet right there. This gene belongs to the T-box family of genes, which encoded the phylogenetically conserved family of the transcription factors that regulate a variety of developmental processes. All these genes contain a common T-box DNA binding domain. Mutations in these genes are associated with cousin syndrome. Look, you can look up what the cousin syndrome is if you just really want to get specific. All right, what's the other gene, Sean? The other gene is the VPS13B gene. What the hell is the VPS13B gene? Okay, let's talk about it. I'm going to go back in the article and I'm going to be very specific about these two genes here. All right, so when they looked at the people that populated this place, the Americas, all right, they detected significant association of 32 traits with at least 1 and up to 6 of 32 different genomic regions. They also found that the TBX15, a gene that contributes to lick thickness, was linked with genetic data found in the novacins, providing a clue to the gene's origin. So they found out the origin of the gene. Okay, you don't believe me? You can read for yourself. We talking the Native Americans, the people, the Amerindians, the Paleo Indians, whoever we want to talk about that call them that inherited, they walked right into the Americas. All right, now here's the second one that I mentioned. Okay, one of the newly discovered genes is the VPS13B, which influenced nose pointness. The researchers found that this gene affects nose structure in mice, indicating a broadly shared genetic basis among distantly related mammal species. So you have the two genes, even though they use this as an example in mice to find it out. They also said that researchers like this can provide basic biomedical insights and help us understand how humans evolved. There you go. You see how humans evolved. So we're just going to beat y'all down with y'all long bullshit, right? Because remember, y'all don't like science. Y'all don't like the process of science. But y'all will, and for one example, a fool in the chat, and I'm glad the fool is in the chat. The fool said that he agreed with adaptation, but don't subscribe to evolution. Well, adaptation and mutation are functions of the evolutionary process. So to accept adaptation, right, but to reject evolution shows your ignorance. Once again, I am preaching. So again, two genes that are specific to the people that inhabited the Americas is the TBX15 gene and the VPS13B gene. Let's proceed a little bit forward. Let's go to the Journal of Nature, right? Now, no. I'm not going to give you the Journal of Nature article, not just yet. But this is where it's printed at. It's printed in the journal. I'm gonna go to something a little bit more easy to read for the abos that are in the chat. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here I have for you the modern human Native American and the archaic human Neanderthal. Okay, what you're looking at is the nasal height of the Native American population and the Neanderthal. Sean, what the hell is you saying? Oh, there is another gene, ladies and gentlemen, that the people that populated the Americas have that they got from the freaking Neanderthal, and it's all in the nose. Oh, man, Sean, what is you saying? They call it the nose shape gene. Let's build. Humans inherited genetic materials from Neanderthals that affect the shape of our noses, finds a new study led by UCLA researchers. The new communications biology study finds that a particular gene which leads to taller nose from the top to the bottom may have been the product of natural selection as ancient humans adapted to colder climates after leaving Africa. Okay, speak on it. Co-corresponding author, Dr. Adhikari, said in the last 15 years since the Neanderthal genome has been sequenced, we have been able to learn that our ancestors apparently interbred with Neanderthal, We've been known that way before 15 years ago. We knew that our ancestors interbred with Neanderthal. I've been telling y'all this. This is how the L3, which transfers into the M and N, gets in Europe and gets in China. But it originates in East Africa. I need my $100, bruh. I ain't letting that go. You owe me 100. The science says so. Let's move on. Here we find that some DNA inherited Neanderthal influences the shape of our faces. This could have been helpful to our ancestors as it has been passed down for thousands of generations. You remember when I talked about hereditary, inherited? You remember when I said when you inherited traits from or genes from your parents and from your ancestors? Do y'all not see how all that shit is coming back? I just talked about 2 other specific genes that are relevant in the Genotype and the Neanderthal that deals with specific shit. All of that is inherited from their ancestors, right? So let me proceed. So now we're using lookership, visual, our ability to observe nature. And now we can distinctively look at the Native American population, the Mexicans, the people we call the Mexicans, the South Americans, the Central Americans, the North American, Amerindians, Paleo Indians, Indigenous Indians, or we can call them by their tribal names. No matter what we call these people, these traits exist in them. They do not exist within the internet Indian population that shows up on Pseudo TV, Black Pseudo News 102, and all these pseudo Aboriginal channels. Let me proceed. Now, the name of that gene is the ATF3, but we're going to get to that because the study used data from more than 6,000 volunteers. Let me rewind that back. So, Sean, you telling me that there's a study? Yeah, bro, they did a study. What was the study? How many people? There were 6,000 volunteers across Latin America, or even mixed European, Native American, and African ancestry, who are part of the UCL-led Candela study, which recruited from Brazil, Colombia, Chile, Mexico, and Peru. So when I tell you they're not North, Central, or South, I'm saying that because they did a study with 6,000 volunteers of different ancestries, pulled them together, and what the hell did the study say? The researchers compared genetic information from the participants to photographs of their faces, right? Remember, lookership, right? Y'all so big on go to Google, pull this person up. That look like a nigga. That look like us. That look like he been here in America. You know how y'all do that bullshit, right? Y'all play that game like that. So now we got to break it all the way down to you. So they did a study on their faces, specifically looking at the distances between points of their faces, such as the tip of their nose or the edge of their lips, to see how different facial traits were associated with the presence of different genetic makeup. Now let's run that back. Remember what I said about inheriting shit from your mother and your father, your grandmother and your grandfather on both sides, and then your ancestors on down the line walking that shit back? Oh, it's present today, baby. Yes, it is. So the researchers newly identified 33 genome regions associated with face shape, 26 of which they were able to replicate in comparison with the data from other ethnicities using participants in East Asia, Europe, and Africa. In one genome region in particular called the ATF3, the researchers found that many people in their study with Native American ancestry, many people in the study with Native American ancestry, as well as others with East Asian ancestry from another cohort, had genetic material in this gene that was inherited from the Neanderthal, contributing to an increased nasal height. How many of these Negroes you see on TV with these big ass nose heights? They also found that this gene region has signs of natural selection, you know, something that they denied, suggesting that it conferred an advantage for those carrying the genetic material. So, first author, Dr. Lee, said it has long been speculated that the shape of our noses is determined by natural selection, as our noses can help us to regulate the temperature and humidity of the air with breath in. Different shaped noses may be better suited to different climates that our ancestors lived in. The gene we have identified here may have been inherited from Neanderthals to help humans adapt to colder climates as our ancestors moved out of where? Africa. We have a Chinese man by the name of King Li at the University of Fudan telling you that the shape of their noses, due to natural selection, right, were better suited for climates that left out of Africa, for the ancestors that left out of Africa. Now, corresponding with the co-corresponding author, Professor Andrews Ruiz Linares. Oh yeah, you thought they didn't have nobody that would represent them in this? Listen to what he says. Most genetic studies of human diversity have investigated the genes of Europeans. Our study's diverse sample of Latin American participants, broadening the reach of genetic study findings, helping us to better understand the genetics of all humans. They said most studies, we just got these white people in them. But now, bro, this is diversified vibes. We got East Asians, we got North Central and South American populations in this bitch. And we doing a whole, and Africa, we doing a whole better job to get a better understanding of what's going on with humans. Remember, y'all, they deny evolution, but they don't deny adaptation. But then they want to sit here and act like they're these people. And then these people that we're talking about have specific genes, and I've been trying to tell y'all about. And we're adding another one. So now we dealing with the nose, the lips, and the jaw. 3 distinctive locations that we can look and see and separate. Let's go a little bit further because, you know, some people are a little slower. So, you know, I'm trying to bring the remedial people that's in the back of the class to the front of the class so we can help them. All right. Now, the finding is the second discovery of DNA from archaic humans. So what? Let me go ahead and be distinct here. All right. Remember, archaic humans are Homo sapiens, Neanderthals, and Denovicens. There's some other archaic humans. Now we are Homo sapiens. Don't forget that. Us modern humans are Homo sapiens. And I can go a little bit further than that later, but right now I just wanted to kind of slide that in there because, you know, I just want to take my little evolutionary shots here and there. Now, distinct from Homo, listen, the finding is the second discovery of DNA from archaic humans, distinct from Homo sapiens. I'm going to say that again. The findings of secondary discovery of DNA from archaic humans, distinct from Homo sapiens, affecting our face shape. The same team discovered in the 2021 paper that the gene influencing the lip shape, we back to that, was inherited from the ancient Denovicens. So now that we know, we can conclude, ladies and gentlemen, that the lip shape comes from Denovicens. So these Paleo-Indian, Amerindians, North, South, and Central Americans that populated the Americas way before Black folk ever took a step over here, or any of these internet Indians claiming that their grandmama said, they gotta have these genes. Now, the study involved researchers based in the UK, China, France, Argentina, Chile, Peru, Colombia, Mexico, Germany, Brazil. Yeah, do your work. Do your work. Do your work. So now I'm gonna show y'all the ATF3, right? You can go on Google. You can get its function. The ATF3 is a protein that in humans is encoded by the 3 gene. Activating transcription factor 3 is a member of the mammalia activation transcription factor, the CAMP, responsive element binding protein family of the transcription factors. In short, we just told you it's got everything to do with what they just said. Ooh, but it gets a little bit better. I ain't gonna bring y'all to this old source right here, DNA Explained Genetic Genealogy. I'm not gonna get into that, right? But I want to double down on something real quick. I want to go to the terminal Pleistocene Alaskan genome reveals first founding populations of Native Americans. I just want to give you just a little bit of this, not a whole lot, just a little bit. Despite broad agreement that the Americas were initially populated via the Beringer, the land bridge that connected far northeast Asia from northwestern North America during the Pleistocene epoch, when and how the peopling of the Americas occurred, remains unresolved. Analysis of human remains from the late Pleistocene Alaska are important to resolving the timing and the dispersal of these populations. See, you thought you was going to get somewhere because you heard the word unresolved. No. That's not what they're referring to. They're not going to deal with your cherry picking of an article and allow you to try to get away with it, especially you motherfucker that owe me $100 talking about the L3 is not indigenous to Africa. So let's go a little bit further. What does it say? So the analysis of human remains from late Pleistocene Alaska are important to resolving the timing and dispersal of these populations. The remains of 2 infants were recovered at Upward Sun River and have been dated to around 11,000 years ago. Hereby sequencing the USR1 genome to an average coverage of approximately 17 times, we showed that the USR1 is most closely related to Native Americans, but fall basal to all previously sequenced contemporary of ancient Native Americans, such as the AR1 represents a distinct ancient Beringer population. Using demographic modeling, we infer that the ancient Beringer population and ancestors of Native American descended from a single founding population that initially split from East Asia around 36,000 plus or minus 1,500 years, with gene flow persistent until around 25,000 plus or minus 1,100 years. Gene flow from ancient Northern Eurasians into all of the North Americans took place 25 to 20,000 years ago, with ancient Beringers branching off around 22 to 18,000 years. Our findings support a long-term genetic structure in ancestral Native Americans consistent with the Beringer standstill model. We show that the basal North and Southern Native American branches, to which all the Native Americans belong, diverged around 17 to 14,000 years ago, and that this probably occurred south of the North American ice sheets. We also showed that 11,000 years, some of the Native American populations received gene flow from a Siberian population most closely related to the Koryaks, but not Paleo-Eskimos, Inuits of Catz, and the Native American gene flow into the Inuits was through northern and north-south and not southern Native American groups. Our findings further suggest that the far northern North American presence of North Native Americans is from a back migration that replaced and absorbed the initial founding population of ancient Beringers. Woohoo! So the Aboriginals wasn't even here. They wasn't even here. They ain't even got the faceplate. So let's double down. Ladies and gentlemen. Let's double down. This is from the genomic formation of first American ancestors in East and Northeast America, and more. The peopling of American remains are an area of active debate in archaeogenetics. The time and the place of the Beringer standstill, dates and routes of the first colonization, and the Asian source for the later migration about 5,000 Cal year BP are all contentious. 2 recent discoveries are critical for constraining models of American settlement. First, you had the Upper Sun River, the individual of USR1 from the unique double Infant burial in the Denali tradition dated to 11,000 years ago. Was subject to deep whole genome sequencing and was shown to represent a previously unknown genetic lineage that split from the American stem between 22 to 18,000 years ago, much earlier than two major clades known before, the Northern Native Americans, or what they call the NNA, and the Southern Native Americans. Remember, I've been saying the Northern Native Americans and the Southern Native Americans that split 17 to 14,000 years ago. The region where the divergence of ancient barriers took place remains unknown, but Marino Mayer favored a model where the divergence occurred in Alaska, with the Northern and Southern American clades diverging south of the ice sheets. Other genomes relevant for reconstructing the earliest history of the Proto-Americans is in Asia belong to an individual from the Duvani Yar site of 9,800 years ago. The Kolyami River, northeastern Siberia, and an older individual from the Uset Kayata site, Kayata 3 site in the Bakir region. Both the Kalimar 1 and the Uset Kayata individuals were modeled as Proto-American lineages diverging deeper than USR1 and having Siberian admixture of 21 to 27%. According to the Socorro, these Paleo-Siberian populations represented. The Koyal individual was later largely replaced by the Neo-Siberians, with individuals from 7,600-year-old site at Devil's Gate Cave in Russia, Far East, being their type representative. The Koyo 1 related genetic component now is prominent only among the Chukotan, the Kamachkan, and some Western Siberian indigenous groups, the Selkups, Khanty-Mansi, and the ancient Paleo Inuit. To date, our knowledge about prehistoric populations from mainland East Asia is relatively limited. 6 early Neolithic individuals from the Devil's Gate Cave in the Amur River Basin were sequenced at coverage ranging from 0.1 to 6.6 times and were shown to be genetically continuous with present-day populations in the ARB and with the majority of present-day Siberians. Other genetically similar individuals from the ARB were reported by the Ning and the Wang. Individuals dated between the 7400 and 11th, 13th century CE. To investigate the prehistory of the ARB deeper in time, we generate whole genome shotgun data from 12 individuals from the Hotomega site in northeast China who lived between 12 and 2,300 years ago. 12,000 and 2,300 years ago. The oldest individual dated is 12,000 years, was sequenced to a high coverage and is the earliest sequence representative in the ARB genetic cluster. I want to stop right. Nope, I ain't gonna stop here. I'm gonna stop at the next one. We developed a new method of admixture inference based on exhaustive mapping of a target group on a skeleton admixture graph as a mixture of an increasing number of sources, and another method that searches the graph space automatically. To allow comparison of the graph models of different complexity, we undertook a study of simulated genetic data and developed a new model comparison approach resistant to overfitting. We utilized the new data from the Hatuma site for constraining admixture proportions in the graph connection, key Siberian, East Asian, and American lineages. Leveraging the power of the admixture graph and the novel methods, we demonstrate that the USR1 lineage descended from the admixture between the North Native Americans and the ARB. So let's go back so you know who the ARB are. The Amur River Basin. Okay? Some Siberian shit. Now, I don't want to hear nothing else from no one that comes from that side that want to act like they kind of, sort of, coulda, woulda, shoulda, maybe certain parts of a subject matter. You know, the skeptical critic who thinks that they can cherry pick certain shit when it only validates a position that they want to take about a particular argument. I don't want to hear from you no more. Because what we just used was the tools of lookership, observation, and from a scientific perspective to separate the indigenous populations of the Americas from the fake internet ass Indians that you see online. Now, I'm not going to conclude for you. I only presented the information using 3 different gene types that are inherited from people's parents, grandparents, and ancestors, and express them to you to show that, hey, to explain the nose shape in the Americas among the natives, they got that from the Neanderthal. The lips, they got that from the Denovicens. The jaw, they got that from also archaic human as well. So now, right, since they are afraid to take a DNA test, we can look at these niggas and determine that they ain't fucking Native American based on the 3 different gene types that have been explained and associated within this conversation. We don't have to get too technical, right? They want to be a new species of a people. We need that evidence. They want to be Aboriginal or Indigenous to the Americas. We need that evidence. We need to see if you possess these 3 gene types that are common among the Native American population, the North Native American populations, and the South Native American populations that center this bitch through and through. And until we see evidence of that, never accept the argument of my grandmama said, because she's lied once, she'll lie again. She don't know about a motherfucker walking on water. That's a belief. She don't know about no Moses. No, it's a belief. We want evidence. So what I have put together for you in the description of this video is a list of about 12 sources. I didn't want to put more than that in there, but in each one of these, it brings out a peculiar point to help you be able to validate and substantiate the position of which. I don't want to argue with them no more. The evidence says the admixture clean between Asians and Americans says, the S&Ps say, your phenotype and genotype equals your biological makeup, which tells us in the voice of Maury, you are not Aboriginal to the Americas. I want all the smoke. You hate me, I don't care. Your old lady like me. If your old lady don't like me, her sister, auntie, grandmama, cousin, mother will find something attractive about me that you hate. So shoo fly. Fuck out of here. Now, what I basically just did was I provided my methodology and I walked you through it case by case. My research question, right? That's all I need is one. I could have came up with more, right? But that would be too dreadful for y'all. And then I organized all my facts and I put them in order. I defined what needed to be defined. I explained what needed to be explained, and I made it stick, meaning that I took something that you should commonly know, that you inherited some shit from your mother and your father, and your mother and father's mother and fathers, and your mother and father's mother and father's mother and fathers, right? That's innate. You got some shit that's passed down. So once I made that understanding clear to you that, okay, we talking genotype, some shit that we get passed down from us through our parents. All right, cool. Then I introduced to you the three specific things, 3 specific areas: the nose area, the lip area, the jawbone, cheek area, cheek jawbone area that have been passed down to the North Native American population and the South Native American population that these internet Indians do not possess. That's why they don't come on camera and they hide behind some shit. Because they don't carry those genes. And the people who inherited this side of the world that we're on right now, there was no one here before them. They carry those gene flows. Now you ain't got, there's no more argument here. All the history shit that y'all making up, you've been debunked because them motherfuckers all through and through call themselves African. Now, genetically speaking, dealing with your biological makeup, since you guys like to look at shit so much, pull this up. Look at this picture. You can't tell me that it ain't that. That ain't this. Oh, yeah, we can. Because the motherfuckers that you telling us to look at are Africans. The motherfuckers you need to be looking at, that you claiming to be, you don't look nothing like them. So, Chavis said, what you did will take these niggas' legs once again. Yeah. So it's over. And Rob Moore said, I'm an internet Indian. I have my genealogy. Facts, Rob. And if y'all ain't looked at the debate, Rob Moore finally showed some of it yesterday. So click on each one, teach one, and go tune into that. Aboriginal Power really had no argument. He was off topic, and he didn't present anything that would substantiate the existence of his claims that he made prior to. And again, once again, this goes back to my point. They do not know how to argue research questions. So if you agree to a debate, that's the framework, right? That's the framework of what you're debating. You're debating this. Now, from this, what questions need to be answered? Aboriginal Power never formulated no questions, never presented anything to argue in favor of the debate topic. And ultimately, when he concludes off some belief shit. While Rob Moore was up there with evidence, this motherfucker was over there with, I believe, and trying to sound smart. Never made no sense. He ain't never on topic. Fucking up evolution. Don't understand certain shit. Oh, by the way, let me pull something up for y'all. Let me pull something up for y'all real quick. Hold on one second. So I want to show y'all this. I responded to a message. Hold on, y'all. Somebody laughing at me because I'm ruffling some feathers on Facebook today. That's a topic within its own. But I don't think that certain people don't want to have that type of conversation. So I want to show y'all something real quick. Since what Smoke's still at? Where you at, Smoke? That ugly ass girlfriend you get look like a wildebeest. Big bag bitch. Excuse me for cussing. I had to say that. Right. The CIA brokered now they on this made up ass bullshit. The CIA orchestrated the transatlantic slave trade. Right. When they wasn't even fucking around. It's, like, who does that, bro? Like, for real. I want to show y'all something. This is for evolution denied, people that deny it. but not really. You know, I don't want to hit people too hard. So this is the evolutionary tree right here. Human evolution from protocells to people. And you have the unicellular life, which is single cell organisms, right? Take you back. Then you have animalia, which is multicellular life. Then you got chordata, right? Animals with backbones. You see that? It's the evolutionary walk. Then you have the tripota, right? Your inner fish, what some people call it, which is four-legged organisms, and how far they go back. Then you got your mammalia, which is milk-producing animals, running them down. Then you got your primates, which people hate, an order of mammals. Then you got the hominidae, right? Which people don't want to be associated with, which is the great ape collection. Then you get genius homo, contemporary humans. This is for shy. Homo erectus, Homo neanderthalis, and Homo sapiens. Right? When you're dealing with Homo neanderthalis, right? We're talking brain size and hair. With Homo sapiens, you're talking producing nose, brow ridges, snout, everything. But this Homo sapien ain't what we're talking about when we're talking about modern humans. Right here, evolving into the future. Humans are still evolving. Thousands of years from now, we may experience a great averaging from continuous. International mixing will create an average of all current physical differences. Other hypotheses suggest humans may become taller, more lightly built, and less aggressive with smaller brains. That's evolving into the future. So it'll walk you on your little path, and you can go down here and you can learn something. I'll drop this link in the chat for you evolutionary denialists, and you know, you can argue with it as you want. You know what I'm saying? No, it is not in the description, but it will be in the description, not a coincidence, in just a minute. I'm gonna put it in the description. I had it somewhere else where I was holding out. You know. The Chavis name I already saw it, but I was holding out. But yeah, you know, y'all don't want that smoke, bro. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't want this smoke. All right, make sure that y'all like the show, man. I mean, I understand that the elbows ain't gonna like it, but god dang, bro. Give a nigga thumbs up. Like the show. Before I get back to this bill, though, man, y'all gotta make sure that y'all support my brother Kofi book. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you support it. All right, so we back. Yeah, not a coincidence. It is officially in the description of the video. So all the sources are in the description of the video that have been shown. You know, we good to go. Some idiot in the chat. Let me see what's going on. Who the idiot? Juju says, where you get this from, Sean? Infinite Minds asks, where you get it from? Man, I get email updated scientific articles all the time, bro. So you subscribe to a lot of these things, and they'll send you emails with this stuff. Like a dummy last night talking about the Port Authority concerning Paul Cuffey. I was like, Port Authority was created in 1921. A simple Google search. Oh yeah, they trash it. Colored I am. That's what they mean by it. Copper I ain't. Facts. Facts. Rob Rich says, I see clan. Them ninjas don't listen to their grandmother when she say pull your pants up, take out the trash, wash the dishes, etc., etc. But when she say they're Indian, they all is. Get the fuck out of here. Facts. I try to have a dumb CIA talk with them, but it never comes to anything. They never show anything. Nah, they don't. That's a, what fallacy is that? Hold on, I need to look that up. There's a hold on, let me reshare my screen to do this live. Let me just pick a screen. Let me go back to this one. Go over here and do this. Let me see what fallacy. I'm just typing some shit. There you go, right there. I knew it. I knew when I put it in here, it was gonna give it to me. So let's look it up. This something for everybody. Well, I'm trying to get on it to where y'all can see it real good. I just have to slide it over. All right, so here it is. It's the invincible ignorance fallacy. This is what they're doing. Let me get this off the screen. Let me get Robert coming off the screen so everybody can see it. All right, so the invincible ignorance fallacy, also known as an argument by pig-headedness, is a deductive fallacy or circularity where the person in question simply refuses to believe the argument, ignoring any evidence given. It is not so much a fallacious tactic in argument as it is a refusal to argue in the proper sense of the word. The method used in this fallacy is either to make assertions with no consideration of objections or to simply dismiss objections by calling them excuses, conjecture, etc., or saying that they are proof of nothing, all without actually demonstrating how the objection fit these terms. It is similar to the ad lapidem fallacy, in which the person rejects all the evidence and logic presented without providing any evidence or logic that could lead to a different conclusion. So you have, this is the smoke signal fallacy. He is known, right? He's not alone, but the root word / smoke signal fallacy, all of them, the Aboriginal fallacy is this: appeal to the stone, the argumentative of ad lapidem. Yeah, this is them. They do this all day long, right? That's what we should call them. The argument of pig-headedness or the ad lapidem fallacy. Yeah, that's a smoke signal fallacy. But let's go back because I think they got something else. We already know about argument of authority, surveillance under the what do I need to do? CIA, logical fallacy, handlers. Let me get back into that. Appeal to force. We ain't dealing with that. We know about genetic and personal attacks. Ad populum, we know about that bandwagon, patriotic, and snob approach. Appeal to tradition, we ain't getting into that. Appeal to improper authority. They do that a lot. They do appeal to improper authority because we've been in arguments with these dudes where they will sit here and say top cats, or refer to top cats or Aboriginal power. Like, you know, as a matter of fact, because I know he in the chat, but he ain't said nothing. And I know he tapped in, but he still ain't said nothing. He been real peaceful in the chat. Ty Sam, where your bitch ass at? I know you listening because you subscribe to the channel. And I know you watching because you trying to see where I'm coming from. Where you at, Ty Sam? Don't run and hide now. Why you trying to play tricks and games over there on your platform and try to run my name through the mud? Where you at, Ty Sam? Here's another smoke signal, root words and Aboriginal fallacy. The argument from personal incredulity, which asserts that opponent's argument must be false because you personally don't understand it or can't follow its technicalities. So when we're talking evolution, right, this is the prime example because they don't understand it. Tyson, where you at, bro? You over there running my name in the mud, bro. Talking about somebody work for the CIA and all of that. Nigga, they would never hire me. I've been in situations you don't even know of. I have no interest in none of that. They beg the question a lot. Of course, they always got circular reason. We ain't gonna deal with hasty generalization because that happens a lot too. Fallacy of accident. One of the common type of hasty generalizations is fallacy of accident. This error occurs when one applies a general rule to a particular case. No, they don't even know general rules. We ain't gonna get in statistics because they don't deal with that either. Irrelevant conclusions. This fallacy occurs when a rhetorician adapts an argument purporting to establish a particular conclusion and directs it to prove different conclusion. Oh yeah, we've seen that a lot. We get a totally different conclusion. They are the kings of logical fallacies. Yep, they are. They are. They are every bit of that. And then they'll turn around and use these same names out of context and misrepresent the intent and purpose of the fallacy, which once again proves why you're right and why they're wrong. Stupid. They just dumb, man. They do this a lot. This their favorite, though. Appeal to a lack of evidence. How are you an Aboriginal? Because my grandmama said, well, where's the evidence? My grandmama said that that's the evidence. Or peep this. They reconstructed the history during the Reconstruction era. That's what the whole Reconstruction era was about. Them rewriting history. Where's the evidence for that? What you think they call it Reconstruction for? Just stupid shit. Let me get out of this. So there you have it. Zane, I ain't a copper color man. I'm trying to see if there's any questions in the chat. By the way, questions, comments, concerns about what was presented today. Did I lose anybody? Do you feel like you've been lost? Do you feel like you've been lost? Well, hold on just one more minute. I'll be right back.
How was school today?
Mom, these kids at school kept making fun of me and they kept calling my hair nappy. Why, Mom?
Tootie, look, just read this book and it'll tell you everything you need to know.
There's another N-word we throw around in and out of the black community called nappy. We have taken that word like the other N-word, nigger, and made it a word of adornment. I have heard the word nappy my entire life, which was used to insult, degrade, and hurt someone. This word is a derogatory term that was used in our ancestors to insult them.
Available now.
I love myself.
Same tree, different brand.
I hope you love yourself, because love is only love when you love somebody else.
Back in the butte. They don't want no smoke, man. They want to sit here and chit chat. You see how they ran? They all hyped up. They all hopped up in here, and then they dipped. So, like some cowards. Let me change my profile. Now to see you going live, ain't you? What time you going live? I want to show y'all something real quick. Where is it? Let me see.
The keys.
So I'm gonna read.
In America, those people we call white are also mixed, and they.
Nah. So
he thinks science is an opinion, bro.
No, yeah,
you hear that?
That's what I'm saying. Science is an opinion. It's something that's tested over. Pushing European.
You know what I'm saying? You know, I've been doing it.
Aboriginality. And they sell shirts and the like, and they even have the brother that puts together this has a t-shirt that has the same image on it. Do you see that? And he's standing at Powhatan Street like, I'm Powhatan. So this is not, she heard this from someone and she did not research it. Why not? Do you just assume that what they're writing makes sense? That's not scholarship. And if you think you're going to bring that into a debate with anyone in the HOK,
is that a baby in the background?
They're going to swat this like Manute Bowl going after a 5-footer trying to make a shot. That's what's going to happen. You can't do that. You didn't check it?
Yeah, I was just on the phone with Shaka. He said, tell Jabari, save something for me. Shaka, funny, right?
Shaka, if I knew you were going to go into, I might have actually saved a little for you. Because this is, I mean, Shaka, this is crazy, brother.
Choctaw Mac, what's good, bro?
What's
Yeah,
up,
hello,
Choctaw
can you
Mac?
hear me? Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yo, so we was talking on Real Rap channel before, right?
Yeah.
You and Tyron was trying to go in on me.
No, what had happened was you and Ty got y'all beef. Me and you, we had a civil conversation, and then you called me out my name because I guess Ty, the nigga Ty made you mad or some shit. You called me out my name, and then that's when we had our discourse. But before that, everything was peaceful.
Yeah, well, I don't live in the past. I don't hold grudges, so whatever happened, happened. You know what I'm saying? So we good.
Yeah.
So what you got something you want to talk about? Or we just freestyle?
No. Wait. Well, you know what I'm saying. You know, I've been doing this shit for a while. So what I realized is that with the abos, yeah, they do get their talking points from Moors. But when you go on the Abos channel and you look at their older videos, they against Indians. You know what I'm saying? So, so you seen that?
Oh yeah, I seen it happen live where they hold on, chill, Andy, chill. I'll let you get if you want to talk to him, I'll let you talk to him. But to your point, where I would say maybe 6 months ago, they wasn't anything Indian. They was like, we not Indian, we're Aboriginal. There's a difference. Now they want to accept that, but I attribute that more to them trying to affiliate themselves with legendary Top Catz movement.
But see, Catz was a Hebrew. He was a Moor. He was all that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And bro lied. See, because my family, we from the Choctaw tribe. And I got all my records. This is why I keep trying to tell the Pan-Africans, tell these niggas to get their records. Show proof that your family is from the land. You know what I'm saying? They can't show no proof. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, if the Pan-Africans get serious and get on their motherfucking ass, you know what I'm saying? Like lately y'all been doing, yeah, make them show records. They can't show you no records. And they trying to hide behind, you know, Indians and shit, but nah, they not no Indians, bro. They ain't from the land.
So you saying you Choctaw. So let me are you saying like the Negroes are the original Choctaw, or?
That's correct. If you guys go on my channel, like the video before the Dan Calloway video, I'm showing everybody what my great great grandmother looked like, grandfathers, relatives and stuff. I'm showing them what they look like because, you know, a lot of people don't know that the original people of this land they would be considered black people today. You know, some had narrow noses, some had spread noses, but they were from the land. And a lot of people, we just got to we got to put people on to this history, because to say that black people have one narrative of coming out of one place when the tribes in Africa even said they come from Asia, you know, so we don't have. No, hold on, bro. We can't do that, because I could go get the tribal information on the Africans. So not all Africans who live in Africa today are from Africa. But to say that we all
hold on.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You saying a lot. I don't mean to cut you off, but you are saying a lot. To the last thing, what you'll see is that those tribes in Africa who say they come from Asia or outside of Africa, you'll see Abrahamic religious presence. You won't find any indigenous tribes saying that. To the other thing, like with the Choctaw thing, so are you saying?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Coincidence. You cutting out.
Oh, my bad. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah. I can hear you now. You was cutting out.
Oh, so all right. What I said before is you won't find any indigenous tribes in Africa saying that they come from some outside of Africa. You'll find tribes who is like Islamic or Christian, or they follow Judaism. They'll talk about that. But to talk about the Choctaw thing. So are these Choctaw? So you're saying you're Choctaw? You'll say Choctaw Negro. Was any? So you saying you got the paperwork? Was any of your people like enslaved or anything by the Choctaw Nation?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, my people were enslaved after the Dawes rose. So what had happened was, and I got the records on that.
Y'all hear this shit, right? He claimed to be Choctaw. Then he said his people were enslaved after the Dawes rose. After the Dawes rose. So let's walk him down. When did? So his people was enslaved after 1893. So his people were enslaved after 1893. Peep this. December 6, 1865, what happened? This when slavery ended. This is 2 quick searches. So you mean to tell me that your people spent less than a year and a half in slavery? You telling me that your people was enslaved after the Dawes rose, and slavery ended a year and a half later, or probably less than a year and a half later? You smell the bullshit? Let's continue.
Too. The foreigners who came here, who infiltrated, they ended up making the full bloods to freedmen into Negro.
What? The people who infiltrated. Listen to what he's saying.
Yeah. I can hear you now. You were know.
Oh, so all right. What I said before is you won't find any indigenous tribes in Africa saying that they come from some like outside of Africa. You'll find tribes who is like Islamic or Christian or they follow Judaism. They'll talk about that. But to talk about the Choctaw thing. So are these Choctaw? So you're saying you're Choctaw? You all say Choctaw Negro. Was any? So you saying you got the paperwork? Was any of your people like enslaved or anything by the Choctaw Nation?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, my people were enslaved after the Dawes rose. So what had happened was, and I got the records on that too, the foreigners who came here, who infiltrated, they ended up making the full bloods to freedmen and to Negro. And this is from my family records. It could be different with other people, but with my family.
Wait, he made all that shit up. Let's see what you do, not a coincidence. yeah, Danny. He said what had happened was classic. Let me make some shit up.
You know,
say that again one more time for me. Can you say that one more time for me?
Okay, so
they
the
changed
United
what
States.
The what?
Yeah. So with a lot of Indians, they had tried to put us on like the freedmen rolls, call us Negroes and blacks.
They tried to put y'all on the freedmen roll. The freedmen's rolls. So they try to put you in the final roles, huh? Boy, this nigga here. Let me let him continue.
And stuff like that. And there's record of it, you know, there's records. These records are not hidden, they're not destroyed or anything. These are records.
So what you're saying is that we can come right here, right? And we can find you over here in these records, right? Because you here. We should be able to find you in these records, right? We just need to know which one it is and what we're looking for in particular to be able to find you in these records that are right under our fingertips that I'm gonna give to the chat. So we should be able to find y'all, and we should be able to substantiate your position in these records. Big up Virginia. Not as he said, he's still confused. It's been 4 days ago, 3 days.
Records, but you can only get these records when you go down there and know your family information.
Hold up. So I just showed y'all a National Archives. We can go and pull up, right? It says, let me show you again. Digitized index to the final roles of the citizens and freedmen of the 5 civilized tribes in Indian Territory by using the information from the index, which includes the name, tribe, enrollment number. Researchers will be able to locate census cards, enrollment jackets, and land allotment jackets Ancestry.com and Fold3.com have digitized and indexed census cards and enrollment jackets, while FamilySearch.com or .org has digitized land allotment jackets. Since there is currently no electronic index to the land allotment jackets, tribe and enrollment numbers are needed for a successful search on FamilySearch.org. I thought you said you gotta have this, that, and the third, brother. Huh? I thought you said we had to have this, that, and the third, brother. Just give us a name. We gonna find it, and we gonna find the roll number. What you think we slow? We don't know how to research? Who you think you talking to? This what we do. This what we do. This what we do, y'all. We eliminate all the false claims, all of them. You on the rolls? Nigga, what's your roll number? What's your roll number? We gonna find it. We gonna substantiate it. We gonna see if you say you are who you say you are. We are not crazy, possessed, or anything like that. We know. I'm just showing y'all that it's right here. It's digitized. We can find it. They can't just get away with lying to us over and over and over and over and over again. If you did not have that source before, you got it. So Tepera said he and them motherfuckers for show. Yep. Danny said, look up who was the first person on the Dolls roll. That's an Uncle Truth special. Oh, man. Damn. Let's go back over here. This ain't gonna help us, the truth. Sally Aaron. Okay, let me do one more. Let me go to Google. Ralph L. Harrison, age 1, Cherokee by blood. Richard W. Dawson. Am I close, truth? Just give me the damn name. This mug tell you how to go look up, research, and all of that shit. The rolls and some extra. Go to the National Archives catalog in the search box into the 300321. This is the National Archives identifier and click search. Click on the link that says the final rolls of the citizens and freedmen of the 5 civilized tribe territory. Bluka? Oh yeah, this tell you how to do the whole thing. Hold up. You know I ain't giving you nothing. I know you ain't. God damn it. I'm going to the site. Nah, this ain't right. This can't be the first person. Robert L. Dawson? Nope. Search card. Nah, I keep taking me to Dawson, man. I gotta play with it for a while. Danny Jew York ass always bullshit. I know it ain't Dawson. This mom take me to Paul Cuffey. What? You don't want no Frenchie, not for that. You want something else. My bad, y'all. Final roll of the newborn Choctaws by blood. These are newborn. And it says Juanita Casey. But you ain't talking about Juanita Casey. You talking about a mofo that's already on there. Let me go back to my source. Is Choctaw Freedman, Danny? And it's gonna be something I should know too. That's the fucked up part. Lester Abram. Nope, it ain't Lester. He was in Canada. That fool said Drake. That fool said Drake, yo. I'm trying to see if it's a Freedman. Maybe I will tell you it's worth the wait. He said Vince Carter. Tracy McGrady. Minor Choctaw Freedman. Gary Abram. No, that ain't it. Mississippi Choctaw. Tony Adam. Nope. There's something more deeper than that. Why I'm typing in the Neely factor, bro? Oh, you want me to look at your family? No, man, this dude, he said Tory Lanez. Kawhi Leonard. Y'all are retarded. Sauce. I'm trying to find something, man. Hold on. Roll number 1. William Alexander. That's what you talking about? Peru Bruner. Who the fuck is that? Hold on, Danny, you lying, bro. Birch Creek Freedman. Card number 1. The African Native American Genealogy blog says, this is something you showed us before. I don't know how I got this shit. He's African and Native. He's mixed. He was on the Creek Nation. That's why I couldn't find it. I was looking up Chickasaw when I should have been looking up Creek. So now let me go over here back to the National Archives and let me go to Creek. Yeah, so all right, so now I'm over here on the Creeks. Let's see what the Creek says right here. You see Ablo. They're not in numerical order, they're in alphabetical order. So the card number I wouldn't find. You said his name was Brunar. So I gotta go down some more till I get to his see, card 45. Card number 1. Nah, they got card number 1 to Suzanne Barnett. I guess, but they bullshit though. Brunar. I can find his name on here though. But this says Creeks by blood. So let's do it like this. Creek Nation, National Archives, Fort Worth, Texas. Boom, here goes his number right here. 251-747, 251-747. Well, it don't matter. We got the primary on the screen, so we cool. Always Danny with his shit. I knew it was an African. He ain't gonna tell you to go look for some shit that ain't got no damn African on it. Yep, that's a fact. Payroll was he was a trapper. It's a whole lot of Brunars too on this damn Creek list. I mean, I know y'all still see one thing. Let me show y'all what I'm looking at. I'm looking at this. But I'm trying to find Buddy, though. I'm in the wrong spot. But I got his number, so we can look it up and pull his card up. I was looking at Creek Freeman. Courtesy of the Oklahoma Historical Society. First Creek Freeman payroll Bruner card, number 1 and roll number 1. Yeah, he African. African Creek. Aggie, Rayford. I can't make these other 2 names out, but I can make out Rayford and Aggie. Payroll all right there. I don't know who these two people are, but they look like children. So this is his wife. Aggie is his wife. Rayford is one of his sons. Dinky, or whoever that name is, that's somebody. And look like a grandson. And then the other one is a grandson as well of the age 9 and 7. And that's on the 1890. And this is Canadian or something, it says. Well, no, I'm saying it wrong. Something. If we can get a better look at that, we'll be able to tell it. Freedman of the Frontier. Payroll was a town king of Canadian colored town in the Creek Nation. So I was right, it did say Canadian. He was also the founder of the Prairie's Edge settlement, which is now part of the Holdenville community. But he also involved himself with issues as they affected African Creeks as well. Payroll worked with the other African Creek leaders such as Monday Durant. So whoever said, well, I don't think somebody said Durant name enough. And Vasa said he wanted to look up something. Vasa, what'd you say? Neely. Type in Neely factor. Okay, Vasa. Let me pull up Neely factor. (1870 to 1953). Is your genealogy? It come up on genealogy. He was in Canada. Okay. Oh, my bad, Dan. I ain't see it yet. You said click the link, the Freedman of the Frontier link. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can get a better link. No, let me go back. The first one had some shit on it. You want me to click this link, right? Free. It takes you to a book. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. No, you're right. It says Canadian. I need to be. Let me see if I can zoom in though. And let me try to click it now. I mean, it's clear. This view is clear. I can't get the second image to sure. All right. This is clear, but I can't zoom. So it's Aggie, Rayford, Dinky, and Spanky or some shit. Those are grandkids. Son, wife. He was 73. Wife was 58. 14, 9, and 7. Male, female, male, male, male. Canadian. Slave of, he was a slave of Wash Barnett. And his wife was a slave of someone named Landrum. So they both were slaves. Damn. William. These are other people. Oh, he even got the damn father's owner, Tom Brunner and Landrum. Well, that's consistent. William Brunner, Geo Landrum. Those are the people who own their ass. Cherokee Freeman. It says mother's tribal enrollment, Cherokee Freeman, and his father. His father was Seminole. So a Cherokee Freeman and a Seminole something. Mother. And then it goes back to the owners, the Bruners. White overload or something. Yeah, so anyway, man, when they say we can't find something, we can find whatever we're looking for. Fuck them. They just don't want to give us the information because they know we're going to go looking for it.
All right. You said they was enslaved after the Dogs Rose. What's the Dogs Rose is what, 1890?
Yep,
Something?
1890. Yep.
All right, 1890. Cool. So you're saying how was they enslaved after 1890? Wouldn't that? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, that's my question. How was they enslaved after 1890?
Well, the whole story about the foreigners coming over here wanting land, that is true. But see, they could only get the land by saying that our people needed to pay taxes. But when you look into the law, that was a lie because it talks about Indians are not taxed in Article 1, Section 2 and the 14th Amendment and stuff like that. So a lot of people down there, they were tricking them and lying to them saying you got to pay taxes. What happened?
Nah, he was saying what's up to somebody.
Oh, okay.
He kind of rude like that sometimes.
No, that's good. So when they would do things like that, that's how a lot of Indians were losing their land, and then that's how Oklahoma was formed.
Callie, what's good, bro? I got some more questions
man.
for you, I'm just trying to. I don't want to seem like I'm just coming at you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to let you just, I'm trying to. I don't want to. Also, I don't want to put any preconceived notions of what I have by talking to other people into you. So I'm just asking you questions, and you know what I'm saying, hearing what you got to say.
Well, and I think it's about that time that we all start working together and stop being against each other. And I feel like I have a lot to add to the story, and by me having my family records, because I could go back to the 1700s, with my family and my family records. And
you ever take a DNA test, brother? You ever take a DNA test?
No, I never took a DNA test.
You should take a DNA test, man, because I think that it's gonna prove that. So are you saying you're a black person?
I would be considered black, yes.
Considered black, like I said. I mean, are you? Can you cam up for a minute? I just want to see you real quick.
Well, not at the moment. I'm laying in bed.
No, we don't. Callie, we don't.
Okay, don't worry about it.
Because look,
I just look.
No,
I'm just.
Yeah, chalked off from from
Check it out,
Alabama
because I asked
or
him.
Oklahoma?
Specifically. Was his Choctaw people be considered Negroes? He said yes. So we, you know what I'm saying. From there, we just need to go with that he is, you know what I'm saying, black.
No, he could actually have some Choctaw in him, but it sounded like he was trying to. Yeah, it sounded like he's trying to say
with
that.
you. I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
No, I'm saying, yeah.
He said that they're original people.
Well, help me understand. Help me understand what y'all trying to say.
No, it sounded like you're trying to imply. I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to try to beat you down that like that, man. You know what I'm saying? I got you watching the boxing match and stuff. So no, man, I'm not here to beat you down that like that. What I'm saying, it sounded like you were trying to imply that the people who we would consider to be native and that we call Native American, that you would consider those people to be fake. That's what it sounded like you were saying, but I'm not sure that's what you're trying to imply.
Or the foreigner, because I heard you say the foreigner. Is that who you calling the foreigner?
Could be Europeans too.
Yeah. Because look at it like this: when you go back into the old tribal records, white people are not on there, you know, and Asian-looking people are not on the old records.
What? The motherfucking records is the descendants of Siberians and Asian-looking motherfuckers. What are we talking about? We all heard him insinuate, right? So now Callie is trying to get him to commit to saying that people like him, black people, right, who are Aboriginal, the Abos, are the original people on the Dawes Road. That's what he's trying to get him to commit to.
So by me being able,
so what?
So I was right.
What old records are we talking about? Like the Dawes Road?
No. See, they want us to believe that the Dawes. They want us to believe that the Dawes Rolls is the final rolls and all that shit, but that's not true because I have records and Indian rolls by blood before the Dawes Rolls, and that's what they're hiding from the people.
So check it out. When it says by blood, they had those percent. Well, not percentages, but they had those fractions, right?
No, that's on the Dawes Rolls. By blood is like by blood.
So
but
what
on the
year
Dawes,
we talking?
I have 18. What was it? 85.
That nigga don't know.
You said what?
And 1870s. Yeah, but I can go further back though. But I can also share that with you guys as well.
Well, you know the people that you say, the people that you say that are that weren't on the rolls. You know that the oldest bones found in North America, that the people that you said are fake, they actually match them genetically. You know that, right?
True.
So just to let you know that, man, the genetics actually verified that the people that we call natives, the people that we call Native Americans, they are genetically related to all those ancient bones that have been found throughout North, Central, and South America. The people that we call Indigenous, Native Americans, people of First Nations, those people that you see today that we consider to be Indigenous, they're actually linked back to the bones. People who look like you and I, that we're not linked back to those people. We're linked back to the people of West and Central Africa. Now, it doesn't mean that you may not have. No, so hold on. I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna let you finish, bro.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna let you answer me some. Then you can go. I said, but now it doesn't mean that you may not have some of those genetics inside. You very well could. I'm just saying the people that you were trying to consider to be fake have been linked back to those bones that have been found in the ground.
Okay, so do you think it's a narrative? Do you think it's a narrative being pushed? Because I mean, if we go on,
we get science.
Now hold on. I'll let you talk, right? So who are you getting your information from? Because ain't this the same United States that bombed black people?
Who are you getting your information from? Because isn't this the same United States that bombed black people? All right, hear me out. Hear me out, y'all. Just hear me out. How did he know that the United States bombed black people? Think about the question that I am asking you right now. How did he know that the United States bombed black people? Was it black people that said that they did it? Or did they admit to doing it? Do we have evidence of them telling on themselves? Or do we not have that evidence and black people just the only ones that was telling it? Right. It was substantiated by both. Not only black people, because remember, we got that old lady who lived through that experience, and she's an eyewitness. She was a primary source. So she could attest to what transpired during that whole situation. So we have two sides, and we have archaeological evidence of it transpiring, right? We got two sides, and then we got the evidence. And Khalil says it's in the newspaper. Right. You got two sides of the story. You got that it was in the newspapers. You got archaeological evidence. You have a geographical location. You have an exact date, an exact time, an exact moment, hour that it occurred. You have all the evidence. Woo, let that boy go.
Black Wall Street? Ain't this? I mean, come on. So you don't think that there's any type of conspiracy to keep people from knowing their heritage?
No.
A conspiracy to knowing your fucking heritage. Why would they allow us to take DNA tests? Sutex said, who run the newspaper? White folks. You got to remember at that time that black folk who were doing well for themselves also had the ability to be able to write and do stuff too. But this fool says there's a conspiracy to hide the identity. I'm gonna let him continue.
Oh, okay. Well, that's your personal
because
opinion.
we have people.
That's your personal
We
opinion.
have black folks. We have black folks that have spoke for themselves in the past that have actually connected us back to the continent of Africa. On top of that, too, bro, I've taken. Hold on.
Black people the same.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you this, bro. I've taken 4 DNA tests. I just sent in my 5th DNA test. So far, all 4 DNA tests have linked me back to Africa, and I am genetically related to Africans.
And I'm proud of you. That's your story. So now, are all black people the same people?
All the people, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'm gonna state this.
Hey, this is yes or no?
Folks,
I'm getting
to answer your question. It's gonna be brief.
Okay.
The black folks, all the black folks who are, no, I'm gonna do it. All the black folks who are the descendants of Western Central Africans in North Central and South America are Western Central African. And if you take a DNA test, you will be linked back and related to those people.
So how can you tell who's from West Africa and who's not?
What do you mean? How can I tell who's from West Africa and not? What are you talking about? Explain. Make it. I mean,
you're saying all black people. You know, okay, so this is what I'm saying.
I said the descendants of the West. I said the descendants of the transatlantic slave trade, bro. Those people.
So once again, are all black people the same people?
Not the ones who come from the continent of Africa.
Okay, so like I said,
so some of those people. Hold on,
listen to me. That's beautiful. That's beautiful that you took a DNA test and that helped you. And
hold on, no, let me
clear. Callie. The damn answer to your question is not all black people are the same. And the reason that we know that all black people are not the same because of the damn skin map. Then we can get into culture. Well, we can get into biology or DNA or genetics. Then we can get into culture. So the answer to the question is, No, all black people are not the same. But the people who were involved in the transatlantic enslavement are descendants of West and Central Africans and a very small, minute, maybe East African population here and there sprinkled. And then if he try to rebut that, then you box him in, because you didn't say it that way. Look what happens.
Clarify. Let me clarify real quick, brother. Let me say, because some of the people we have people who are from Africa now who are from North Africa. I work with one. His family from Egypt. We have people from East Africa there as well, and we have some folks from different parts of South Africa. But we are mainly connected to the people of Western Central Africa and mostly West Africa, and we share genetics with those people. It is distinct, bro.
So let me ask you this.
And the transatlantic slave trade, which has been heavily documented, bro, heavily documented.
Okay, so let me ask you this: do the African tribes have a creation story?
Yes, they do.
So is all of their creation story the same thing, or is it different?
No, they're different, bro.
Okay, so if everybody's creation story is different, then we can't say that all people originated out of Africa. That don't make any sense.
Yes, we can, bro.
What the fuck does a creation story have to do with the actual truth? A creation story is a especially when you're talking about Africa. Africans are the greatest storytellers on the planet. In order to give you a deeper meaning of something, they will tell a great story. But that story will have a great meaning or an emphasis of something. But at the time, they did not have the sciences that we have today to be able to explain a lot of these things. So through their creation stories, they tell these stories about the origins of their existence. And in some, they have deeper context and meaning that will take you back to assuming or assert how life began on the planet. But for what he's about to say, or what he's trying to attempt to say, he just wrong.
We can't say that
we
all
can't
people,
because the African tribes themselves said that a lot of them didn't come out of Africa, bro.
No, bro.
African tribes don't say that they did not come out of Africa. Where the fuck you get that shit from? Where you get that from? Where you get it from? Anybody know?
You gotta understand. You gotta understand genetics.
Bro.
Hold on. Let me explain to you, bro. Go ahead. You understand? Like the oldest bones have been found in Africa. Africa's also the most genetically diverse.
Did you do your research on that? Did you do your research? Were you
I'm not a scientist. I'm not a scientist.
Okay, so now you're going off of what somebody else is saying, bro.
I am. Yes, I am.
Okay, so now you're into a belief.
Callie, you not being a scientist does not say that you don't understand evidence. Now he's insinuating that you have a belief. You do not have a belief. You have evidence. Do you understand the evidence, Callie? The answer is yes. This is the answer to the question. I am not a scientist, but I understand the science. And it can be substantiated according to the evidence that exists. Because Callie, when you told him that the oldest evidence can be found on the continent of Africa, do you have the fucking evidence of that? The answer to that is yes. Why do you have the evidence of it? Because archaeologists on digs uncovered the oldest hominids on the continent of Africa in each stage. We have the bones, Callie. You don't let him box you in, brother, to a belief. Science is not a belief. Science is a tool that requires us to know and to be able to demonstrate. That means we need to know what the fuck happened and be able to demonstrate how the what the fuck happened. It's a tool. It's a mechanism that we use to explain our natural world. Do we have the evidence? The answer is yes. We don't fucking have to be scientists, but we follow the science. I'm gonna say this again, man. Think about the pandemic. During the middle of the damn pandemic, right? Experts kept telling us, stop listening to motherfuckers on TV. Stop listening to all these other people. Start following the science. Because humans can be wrong. Humans can have bias. Humans can negate evidence. Humans can do a lot of bullshit. But if you follow the science, the methods, the collection of data, you can catch the misrepresentation of the data. So no, you shouldn't have never said you ain't a scientist. Listen, we know that you ain't no motherfucking scientist. So what? What if you took evolutionary biology? You could have took a class. You can go online right now and sign up a Corsica class for evolutionary biology. You can go and take many science classes right now. You can be you also can be an autodidact when it comes to the methodology of understanding said subject matter. That's not negating the evidence, because now he making you a believer, bro. And then you finna argue with him for about an hour or two or however long this shit lasts before not a coincidence stop smoking his weed and come back and take over the show.
You are in a belief.
It's not a belief.
That's religion.
It's not
That's
a belief.
another form of
It's been
religion.
proven.
Yes, it
No,
is.
it's not a religion.
Go ahead.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Yeah. My bad. I was on the phone. So what were we saying is a belief?
He's trying to say that science is a belief. I'm talking about the fact that the oldest bones that have been found in Africa, we can prove.
Let me tell you why, though.
we can prove that all humans
let me tell you
Homo
why.
sapiens that we all descend from Africa. Genetic mutations occur outside of Africa.
We don't even need to go that far.
This is why I said, my bad, coincidence. Go ahead.
Nah, go ahead. I'm trying to talk.
This is why I said,
what's going on.
Okay, so this is why I said that we got to be careful getting into whether it's scientific or whatever, because these are beliefs. It's no different than the Bible. The Bible has a creation story, and the Bible got its creation story from the Mayan creation story. And then now scientists, they come up with different theories about where man come from, and nobody is.
What? See? All of this shit because you said you're not a scientist. He said all of this shit because of you, Callie, fucking up. Now we arguing with this nigga for about another hour.
Is the creator.
No,
I'm not the creator. I don't know how the world was created. I can admit that. So we all got to be real with ourselves.
How are you putting that to?
Well, me and bro just had a conversation about what was it, bro? He brought up a talking point, and I said that it was religion. That it's a belief.
It's not religion. It's been tested, bro, over and over and over and over and over and over again in public.
So science isn't. It's based on evidence, not
all
belief.
science. Not all
No,
science.
if it,
No,
yo, listen, if
all
it's not
science is,
based on
otherwise it's
it,
pseudo,
then
bro.
yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
so what is pseudo to you guys? Because it sounds like pseudo is something that pseudo to you guys is when somebody don't believe in the same thing that you believe in.
Nah. So
He thinks science is an opinion, bro.
No, yeah,
You hear that?
that's what I'm saying. Science is an opinion. It's
No,
something that's
no,
tested over and over. And
science
proven
can be truth
true
and
testing.
somebody's opinion. Science can be truth
No.
and
So
somebody's opinion.
How can science be truth and somebody's opinion? That's not science. The minute that it becomes someone's opinion, that's not science. I'm gonna say it again. The minute it becomes someone's opinion, it's not science. It's not. The moral of the story is, Callie, had you not said what you did, you don't open that door up to where he is now. So if he asks you if you're a scientist, you say, I am a science enthusiast. I understand the science behind the evolutionary process and the evidence, the unequivocal evidence that we have. So let me take you back to this. Right? Because y'all on this subject matter right now. This what y'all on. Y'all are on this right now. If you look at the names right here, this from here, look. From here, if you just look. If you look at this list, are there any of these primates or mammals, great apes, that you don't find on the continent of fucking Africa? Are they? You see what I'm saying? So you got to be real careful with people. Let's start with the great apes. First Homo species, 7 million years ago, emerged in Africa. Listen, end of story. There's overwhelming evidence. And here we stuck with someone that don't understand. All this shit, because not a coincidence, when got high, came back, talking about he was on the phone. Nah, you was smoking and laughing. Let's keep it a buck. You was getting high, bro.
Can you give me an example? Can you give me an example of
that? Okay. What's true about science is if I took a blood test and I'm trying to distinguish if children are mine or not, and I mean, it can tell me if I have kids or not, right? So that can be true. But somebody saying this can be belief and false. When somebody is saying, well, the earth is 50 million years old, and how do anybody know that? They don't know that.
All right, so what I was expecting was for you to give me something where it could be true and an opinion at the same time, not two different examples. Okay. You get what I'm saying? So like I said, science. So like even with like paternity tests, right?
Mm-hmm.
That technology is tested over and over.
Mm-hmm.
To where we know that it's a proven science. They use autosomal testing, and they could tell by how much. It's basically about how much of your DNA is identical. right? So it should be around 50%. So if your DNA is around 50% identical to the person they're comparing it to, they know it can only be a parent-child relationship. That's not a belief. You get what I'm saying?
No, I agree. I'm agreeing with that. That's not a belief. But if somebody is telling you how the world is created, and when we only been living for what 20-something years for some of y'all,
Choctaw, we not. I'm 40, but even though that doesn't mean shit. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about who's the American Negro. We're not talking about
American Negro is the American Indian.
That's not true, Choctaw Mac.
How can you tell me it's not true when I have my family records? Now I can see if you showed me your family records.
My bad, Choctaw, real quick.
Can anyone in the crowd show me what the fuck a family record look like? That's supposed to be overwhelming evidence. Show me your family record. Somebody, who got the fucking family record, bro? Is it a notebook with a whole bunch of shit in there that somebody wrote down? Are we considering that? Does he said, she said trump scientific evidence? Does he said, she said trump scientific evidence? Goddamn, he done pissed off, not a coincidence, baby. Not a coincidence, daughter in there like, yo, daddy, yo, like this nigga tripping. She probably high off the weed too. She trying to hit the blunt. This is consistent with history, Jackson. This is consistent. Like grandmothers used to write the child's name and the date they were born in the Bible. And then any other relative names, you know, that's how they know that, okay, they were born here and there, right? We all get that. But that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying, bro. There's no record book out there. There's no fucking record book that's going to substantiate some shit. That's not evidence. It's evidence for a different argument, but we're talking about the biological makeup, and this motherfucker's talking genealogy. That's why I told you it's biased research. You motherfuckers weren't listening to me. See, now we got to deal. We had to deal, like I said, an hour of this shit because of Cali not phrasing his arguments accurate.
I bet. I don't mean to cut you off. You got it right.
Yeah, no,
me.
it's okay.
Andy,
Go ahead.
Andy. There is no reason to be. There's no reason to be. You haven't yet. So I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. I'm not accusing you of anything. You feel me?
Hey, by the way, not a seat. I know you don't smoke around your baby, man. But when you get done smoking and you come back, the first thing she do is she calling for you. She getting contact off your motherfucking shirt. What you do? You change your shirt to not a seat. Not a seat doing a high school. He doing a high school high. He go outside, sit in the car, get high. So that's why he be gone and y'all be talking for like 15, 20 minutes without no damn not a seat managing this shit because he outside in the car getting high. He go out there with take his shirt off, put it in the trunk or, you know, by the door. Then when he get done smoking this shit, he put his shirt back on and come on in the house. They were not a CV doing. Not a CV, not a CV taking his shirt off, yo, going outside, smoke. Then when he get done, he come back in the house, put his shirt back on, yo. Wash his hands and shit, you know what I'm saying? Spray some Febreze. Spray some Febreze and then he back at it.
Yo, sure, you funny. You funny as hell, man. With facts, that's why I'll be going. I'll be having to step away for a second. And then when I go outside, my Bluetooth, it don't reach that far. So yeah, it is what it is.
All kind of shit.
Word. So I'll be on the phone trying to listen, you know what I'm saying? But hey, I gotta do what I gotta do. I'll be on there 7-8 hours, man. I gotta smoke. Yeah, you do. Listen to these niggas. Word. I can't listen to them sober.
Nah, that's a fact. Well,
you do it. I don't
you
know how. Well,
can.
nah, you be drinking though, so so yeah.
That's not all the time. It's not all the time. 'Cause I really don't even be drinking like that, but these motherfuckers will make you have a shot or two.
Facts.
Yeah, them motherfuckers crazy.
Yeah, but this dude Choctaw Mac, I was trying to give him a little, because that was the first time I was talking to him, and he keep trying to say he's different from the rest of them. So I was trying to feel him out where he was. You know what
Why
I'm
he
saying?
different?
So yeah, where he different at. So now next time when I talk to him, it's over. But I think he ends up getting off of there. I forget how the conversation ends.
Yeah. The thing is though, is he ain't different. He the same.
Nah, he not. He the same. But that's just his claim. He different. Because you
Yeah.
know what? He go by Indian. He don't go by Aboriginal.
Yeah. He doing a top cat shit, right?
Yeah. Because then
But
But
then if
then
he doing
my
that,
God.
then he's acceptable to the same scrutiny as top cat, which goes back to what I was doing earlier today about the biological makeup of these motherfuckers.
Yep.
They ain't got them genes, bro.
Nope. They don't have the phenotype. So if you want to play the look and shit game, they don't
Yeah.
have it. But then they just, they deny. They find a way to deny everything, and I don't know how their community accepts. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know how to just deny everything and they accept it.
Right.
It's like nothing we brought to them made any sense. Nah.
Right. What Thomas say? So Top Cat still claiming to be the native king. Dude still going at it, making a fool of it. Yep, he is. He is,
He's a
bro.
circus. He's definitely a circus over there.
Yeah, I'm always crazy. He says he's a certified boozers. What are we doing? James One, what do you mean? I don't understand what you calling or what you claiming. Bozos. If we bozos, come prove to us how we bozos.
Yeah. Come have a conversation, James.
Yeah, enlighten us.
Come talk to the two dummies.
Yeah, educate us, brother. What up? Aziz, what up, bro? Yeah, he tripping. My bad. I'm finna play a little bit more. That's like 3 days ago though, y'all. So you gotta go back. You going live tonight?
Yeah.
What time you going live?
Definitely. It's 5, probably like 8:30.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna play a little bit more now to see.
But there's no reason to be There's no reason to be disrespectful, all right?
I was just trying to be disrespectful.
No, I know. That's why I said I'm not accusing you of anything, but I know how you can be. You get offended, which you should be, right? You should be offended. But let's just have a conversation, all
Let me
right?
tell you why he shouldn't. Let me tell you why he shouldn't. Because
no,
I'm
go ahead,
not. Hold on. Let me say this real quick. I'm not here to disrespect any of y'all. If anything, this shit needs to have closure, and we need to have understanding. If everybody is for each other and for their people, then there has to be some type of understanding. Everything can't be fake and everything can't be real, but we do need to have an understanding what has happened in Africa and here in the Americas. So I'm not here to say y'all not African. I ain't not one time said that. You could be whoever you want to be. Just like the brother said, he took a DNA test. I salute him. If it's giving him an identity, I salute him. But see, I have tribal records that go, like I said, go back to the 1700s. So I can't be denied either. And that's bloodline.
No, it's one of the, can you?
Now, you catch his lie?
Yeah, about the tribal record?
Yeah. Because prior to that, right? He was talking Dawes Roll shit. And he was saying how free they were up until after the Dawes Rolls. You see what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
He has a habit of not remembering what he just told you. It's like the 4th, the 5th time that he said something, and then he forgets what he said.
Yeah, I picked up on that a couple times. But go ahead.
But yeah, I was basically just saying, yeah, he's tripping. He ain't got what he said he got.
Speak the language?
Oh yeah, I could.
Okay, speak it.
TLT for data. TLT for ooh. What did I just say?
That mean?
You made me speak the language.
I'm asking you. Tell me what it means.
Yeah.
I don't speak the language. I'm not Choctaw.
Okay, so
I'm of African descent.
hold on. Let me ask you this.
Hold on.
You don't speak the language.
I wish we had whatchamacallit, the other cat here who's actually Choctaw. He speaks the language too. You got
that's
the
cool.
dude who was here last week.
So look. Let me ask you this.
Real Choctaw?
Yeah.
A real Choctaw.
I wish he was here.
Look. That's fine. You don't have to believe that I'm Choctaw, right? That's cool. But if
which origins, like what's like what God did you like?
Hold on right quick, because I want to make a statement towards the person who said a real Choctaw. Show me your family records going back to the 1700s. Don't show me no DNA test. Who is your mama, your daddy, their parents, your great grandparents, your great greats? Show me. So before you even try the real Choctaws, you're not even a real African.
Oh, you talking about me? I'm talking
about the person who, the real Choctaw, the nigga who tried to say something slick. Not you, bro.
Oh, okay.
So for the nigga who said something slick.
Actually showed my family tree.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
But I'm gonna tell you this, bro. I'll say this. You probably
go ahead. Hold on. Let me just fix something real quick. Yo, Choctaw, when he said the real Choctaw, that wasn't a shot at you. The guy's name is actually the real Choctaw.
Oh, okay. Well, I apologize then.
Yeah.
I thought he was shooting a dig. I'm like, what?
No, he wasn't.
Hey, then I apologize to you, bro.
I'm in the background. Yo, Catz, what's good, bro? But go ahead. Y'all finish the conversation. Catz, I'm gonna get to in one second.
So let me ask y'all this. What do you guys feel like the problem is? Do you guys feel like somebody who is dark skinned, when they say that they're not black or African, that they are against people who claim to be African?
No, I would say you could be Afro-Indigenous.
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
Yeah.
We're not accusing you of being an Abo.
That means that you are African and Indigenous. That means you could be African and Native. But those people that you said earlier, the people that you said, the Asians, the people of Asian descent, those people aren't fake. Those people are the actual Indigenous people.
No, they're not. You know why? Verified. Because they admitted that they came over here. Hold on.
Okay,
those people admitted. Those people admitted that they came over here. So if you came over here, then you're not originally from the land.
Nobody's originally from this land, bro. They were the first people to this land. You didn't pop up out of here, bro. Otherwise, I'm gonna say this, brother. You're not the first people here. Otherwise, we wouldn't be the same species.
So what are the Choctaws if they're not the first people?
You talking about what are the Choctaw? The original people that I know are the Choctaw. They're the first people. They are some part of the first people to this landmass. But they did not. Hold on. But they did not originate here. They migrated here. There were no people here in the Americas.
From where?
No one popped up from here, bro. They migrated from Asia, but they were originally from Africa.
So what's the Choctaw story? Because now you just debunking yourself. So what's the Choctaw story? The origin story.
You said I'm debunking. You said I'm debunking. How am I debunking myself?
How am I debunking myself? Listen, I'm about to tell you. You said the Choctaws come from Asia, right? Which is false.
Yeah, just like
so
all the Native American
what is the Choctaw origin story?
They came here 23,000
Choctaw origin story
relevant to what they actually
it's not relevant.
So now it's not relevant. But you're lying saying that the Choctaws come from Asia. So what is the Choctaw origin story?
They did come from Asia.
What's the Choctaw origin story? Do you know it or you don't know it? What's the Choctaw origin story? Do you know it or you don't know it?
They came from Asia, bro.
What's the Choctaw origin story?
Then, right?
Now you being pseudo.
Hey,
How am I
yo,
being
since you
sued?
Choctaw, right?
Because
Since you
what is the
Choctaw,
talk?
you on
Hold on,
the
right
people
quick, bro.
reparations.
Hold on, right quick. Hey, bro, hold on, right quick, because this brother said that the Choctaws come from Asia. So I'm asking
They did.
him because I'm on your ass now. What's the Choctaw
Okay,
origin
you can be
story?
on my ass all you
The
want, bro. I got
Choctaw
science on my
origin
side.
story.
Man,
They
look, all that
migrated from
science shit is
Asia,
weak.
like the
All that
other
shit you
indigenous
kicking,
people.
all that
It
shit you
don't
kicking,
matter.
nigga, that shit is weak. That shit is weak. All that shit you
It's
kicking,
weak.
boy.
Okay.
What's the
It's
Choctaw
weak
origin
based on what?
story? Do you know it or
Bro,
don't you
show,
know it?
bro. Name me an archaeologist or anthropologist or any type of
Let's deal
scientist
with
that
one thing
agree
at a
with you.
time. Let's deal
No,
with one thing at a time.
because
What's the
we gonna
Choctaw
go right
origin
there.
story?
Name me
I already got you
one
out of here.
scientist that
Next
agrees with
person.
you.
Hey, this brother, hey,
You
he's
ain't
too
get me
old.
up out of here.
You
Name
out of
me
here.
one.
Get out of
No,
here.
bro.
Get out of
No,
here.
I'm not
Get
gonna go
out
there.
of here.
Name me
You out of
one
here.
scientist that
Next
agrees with
person.
you.
Next person.
Hold on, y'all.
I got a
One mic.
question.
Hold on.
You can't.
Hold on. Who just left? Oh, he ran. Wow, Choctaw Mac. Where
Did
you
he
at,
ran?
man? Yeah. Yo, Catz, go ahead. Yo, I am. It says your device is not connected. You gotta fix your connection. Yo, Choctaw Mac, come back, man.
Yeah.
Yo, Sean.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah. So yeah, he did run. I was trying to see if there was too many people up there. I should have just talked to him by myself. Because Callie, he was asking good questions, but he wasn't really letting nobody else get in. Or I should have took it over. But I'm gonna get him. He'll be back. Because I don't think he came back either. Bro, we had a couple more. I'm trying to think what else we had on that show.
A whole bunch of shit happened on this show.
Oh yeah, we showed Smoke grandfather.
Yeah, that was too funny. You showed
He's
this.
crazy.
What was this cat talking about on Sunday?
Oh no, I was showing what Catz was saying. You should play that. What King Catz was playing. He was just talking about how they get their stuff from a lot of white pseudos and
Yeah, I already knew that all the origins of their pseudoisms come from white people.
yeah, but he was just breaking it down good though.
He wanted to be on the pseudo channel.
Yeah, he wanted to go up there.
The pseudo Jabari, his friend. Let's see.
To declare their white supremacy, because remember,
I didn't really realize Jabari talked so long in between that. I was trying to get to that point too. But yeah, Catz, you killed him over there, man. Good job, man.
I appreciate it, bro. Hey, look, man. Have you seen those stones that they show with the so-called Hebrew writing and Egyptian and Phoenician characters on? That should look like Bart Simpson drawings, bro.
You gotta rewind it a little bit.
That shit don't
even bad tell.
You said rewind a little bit.
Yeah, it's right before he talks after Jabari talks. So he talked before Jabari, then Jabari said something, and then he said something after. So you can just play like the part after Jabari.
Stuff like that. He does a whole spiel on the Wapian, and he talk about when Malachi York, like linked up with the.
My brother King, you finished or you got more?
I just one more thing. I just want to say behind every pseudo, you're gonna find the European pseudo. When you see the information they put out, you're gonna go on Fox News or any one of these pseudo books like it's the one they're looking at now, Forbidden Archaeology, or you go on Fox News, they talk about the Hebrew guide stones and all that and the stuff they found in the Grand Canyon. All those white folks that put that information out was only to declare their white supremacy and to prove that white people were here first. They weren't saying the Egyptians were black. They weren't saying the Hebrews were black. This comes from Mormons and other pseudo folks from the 18 and 1700s and the Theosophical people. They follow the Theosophical Society too. So all you Aboriginals and all you Moors, they getting this from white pseudo society too. So all you Aboriginals and all you Moors, they getting this from white pseudo society too. So all you Aboriginals and all you Moors, they getting this from white pseudo society too. So all you Aboriginals and all you Moors, they getting this from white pseudo. I had to play that a couple times. So we'll dig that next time, but that's all I want to say.
Yeah. He right.
Yeah, he right. He went in on him real quick. You see, I had to play that like 4 or 5 times. I know the couple abos in the chat. I had to make sure they heard that shit.
Yeah, because that's the source of it, and it is what it is at that point.
Yeah, because they like they be talking about Lemuria and Mu and Atlantis. That all come from like that Mu and all that shit. That comes from Lapungian, Augustine Lapungian or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like he made up that story, talking about he could translate the stones and all this other shit. Them niggas didn't know what they was talking about.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. I need to pull something up. Make sure y'all go over to YK the Truth. You know what I'm saying? Give him a thumbs up, even though you finna catch this world premiere live right here on the Mossy.
Good, it's your brother YK the Truth. And I got a question for those Aboriginals who keep saying that the transatlantic slave trade didn't happen. It was actually white slaves who were brought to the Americas and were owned by indigenous people. Now I have a question. What is worse, being a slave and fighting for your freedom and becoming free, or being a free Indian and having people who you enslaved make you forget who you were and take your language and take your land? This is for those people who don't want to be a slave. So if you wasn't a slave, what happened? If it was told in reverse, why does it seem like you was the slave? And all the records point to your ancestors being enslaved by those people. When you go in the past and you change one event, it can throw off the whole future. So if this happened in reverse, how come Europeans are running the world today? If it was told in reverse, why do you have the English name? If it was told in reverse, why do you worship an English or white Jesus? If it was told in reverse, why do we not have our culture? If this was told in reverse and the white man was the slave, how did the slave end up with the land? How did he trick you? Were your ancestors that foolish and ignorant to let slaves overthrow them and take their land? Let's make it make sense. All of you pretendians who don't want to be an African slave, but would rather be an Indian who was conquered by Slavs. Make it make sense. I'm not going to let that slide. You want to say that Europeans were the slaves and we owned them, then why do you have their language? Now you're going to say that English is an Indian language now? This is what you pseudos do? When the very word English is from England, so now you Indians come from England? Is this what we're saying here? Stop it. History wasn't told in reverse. All right, the slave trade really happened. There's documents to back it up. There's insurance companies to back it up. There's genealogy to back it up. There's DNA to back it up. You guys stand on nothing. This is why you have to fabricate history and rewrite history. 1 minute you guys say the slave trade was a hoax and show me the ships and where are the ships and you can't do nothing without steamboats. Then on the other hand, you say that Europeans was brought over here. So if Europeans were able to be brought on a slave ship, why couldn't Africans be brought over on a slave ship? You see that? That's what I call a checkmate. You make yourself look foolish with these arguments. And these are actually white people talking points. When every time we ask about reparations, they say what? Europeans was enslaved too. But that's a whole different slavery. That is not what happened in America. Sorry, stop the cap. All of this black European shit y'all talking about, sorry, stop the cap. You can't prove any of it. And I'm willing to debate anybody about this. So history wasn't told in reverse. You're lying. And anybody who want to challenge me can get that smoke. So it's your brother YK the Truth. And I'm out. Peace.
I hear you niggas saying that you're African, but then when you niggas gonna prove it? When you gonna prove it?
1880 census, right? And it says father's birthplace, Africa, mother's birthplace, Africa. You can't do this.
Come on, man. Shout out to YK the Truth. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. YK be going in. Yeah, that's something to talk about. Like, why? So where is the corroborating history for these claims that they talking about? Like, there is none.
Yeah, I don't think they understand what you mean by corroborate.
Yeah, like, so you say your grandmother, then all right, what else? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that's unacceptable.
like he showed, you go to 1870, anybody could do this. You got an ancestry account, or you go to family, what is it, family search, that's free. Anybody can do this right now. Go look at the 1870 census or 1870 census and put in the place where they're born. This is the federal census. Put Africa in the birthplace and just look. You're going to see the people born in Africa. You're going to see a lot. Most of these people are going to be before 1808. They're going to be born before then because, you know, we had the abolishment of the slave trade, 1807, 1808. But then you'll see a few that was born after, but we know people was still coming in. You know what I'm saying? And the census shows that. Like, I don't get it. Like, he just showed. He was able to find somebody on in his genealogy on that census that said birthplace Africa. Wow. So, like, when you get to your 4th, 5th grandparent, how many is that? That's what? 8, 16. Yeah, so we talking about like 64 to 100 and what? 100 something people. Nobody, and I'm saying nobody, but it's hard to track down that many of your grandparents. You're gonna have holes in your when you go back.
Yeah, I don't think they understand that either. What dude just said he was disease out there? That prudential symbol is just like the Rock of Gibraltar. Everything was stolen. What? Bro, you fucked history up. Your name fucked history up. English, not German. That's high school. Let me see. What dude go, man? He ain't say nothing else after we told him to come on the platform.
I think somebody had put him on time out for something. I don't know.
We got rid of him.
Well, we're showing some other records that people could look at because you know they like to say, "Oh, he was never called African." You would look at the World War I registration draft card, and you'll see over 300,000 Black Americans, and in the race column they're calling them African.
He called Chavez gay. Damn, Chavez, why he call you gay? No, but you're right. Absolutely.
And these are all things I try to show them when they make these claims, right? But then they be like, "Well, what part of Africa?" It don't matter.
Sure don't. We're an amalgamation. You want us to be specific about, like, you want us to go all the way down and say we're Yoruba or we're Igbo or we're this or we're that. when we can't do that because on the plantation there wasn't a consistent group of Yoruba, Igbo, Fulani, Hausa, Akan. You know what I mean? It wasn't Senegal.
That's like
It wasn't that.
you're 100% right. 100% right. Because I try to show them in the book Africanisms in American Culture on page 12. It talks about the different tribes that came here and what their jobs would be. You know, artisans, field. You know what I'm saying? Field workers, house servants, etc. And they show which ethnic groups would be more likely to be doing this type of job. And it was a bunch of different ethnic groups. You know what I'm saying? So we pull it up on if you want to look for it, it's on page 12. I think it's the first edition though. It's on archive.org. But it's you know what I'm saying? And they just don't get it.
Yep.
Right.
It's real easy, bro. One of their defense mechanisms was to break communication. Think about that. They strategically had a plan to break communication, meaning that we had to figure out how to communicate with one another and find likeness and words that had a commonality and then build off that. We saw that. Remember when I did the whole shit about the goddamn the Maroons in Florida?
Yeah.
Their own language to communicate with each other. Like, come on, you got people from the Congo, Angola area. You got people from all over these other places, so you don't have too much of the same people over there, bro. So you're gonna get that admixture. You're gonna get them people, man, that's gonna mix and breed like that. That's why you see our DNA get all this shit in there. That's why you see or you see a Senegambian percentage. You see
I got that.
Ghana, Togo, Nigeria, Cameroon show up, Liberia. You see a whole bunch of shit. That
Absolutely.
just, bro. If you step back and you look at that shit like that, you're talking about your grandparents. That's the story.
Now look, you see how DNA is now and the progression it's taking, right? So say 10 years from now, we got Ghana and Nigeria. That don't mean you're from one ethnic group from those places. It could be 2-3 different ethnic groups from Ghana, 2-3 different ones from Nigeria. You know what I'm saying? And so on and so on. They always want to just pin us down to one place, and it just doesn't work like that.
This fool said the first expedition of sub-Saharan Africa were sent out by Prince Infante de Enrique with the intent to probe how far the kingdoms of the Moors and their power reach. Bullshit.
Well, no, I see what he said, but that's not the first expedition. Right. That's with the Portuguese. That's when they started going further south, trying to see how far the Moors went. He's right on that part, but not the first expedition. Period.
The Portuguese intent was the same intent that everybody else used. There's a lot of coming to the continent, and that was Prester John.
Yeah, absolutely. So look, so like even in that book by what is it, Ernest Gomez, they list a bunch of reasons. They list a bunch of reasons why Prince Henry wanted to go there. I think it was like 5 or 8. I forget how many, but they list a bunch. And so one of them was Prester John. It was about the Moors. They was looking for money to fight the Moors.
Yep.
They had a bunch of different reasons.
It wasn't just one reason.
Nah, absolutely not.
The biggest reason was the influence of Mansa Musa being in Cairo.
That sparked the interest of
what he called Prester John, aka Genghis Khan. Oh man.
It's crazy.
Man, you jumped out the window when he said that.
He said Genghis Khan.
Genghis Khan, bro. What the
fuck? So Genghis Khan was real. Prester John wasn't. If he was, how long would he have lived? Because they talked about him in early Ethiopia. Like,
you're lucky.
Oh, you're lucky fuck with Prester John. But lucky fucks with Prester John.
Yeah. Also, the fine trade route to India. Yeah, everybody's saying it. It's an amalgamation. That's why I wouldn't. You know, when he said that, I was like, nah, that ain't the case. It's an amalgamation.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. It's not. It was a bunch of different reasons. Well, like he did mention that, but that was one of the things he mentioned.
Right, and you named the chronicler. Shit, he tell every goddamn thing. His chest was out.
Whoa.
Rightfully so. That's what makes Hugh Thomas' book so supportive. I got his other book too about world history. It's called The History. Hold on, grab. This book thicker than the slave trade book.
Oh well, no, I ain't seen that one.
A History of the World. Let me take it back. This shit look like what's that movie? What's the movie with the dude the Predator movie where you know some shit there but you can't see that motherfucker?
Oh yeah. That's the name of it, the Predator.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, okay. Yeah, you know it's some shit in there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right where to go to get where he got it from.
Yep. It's a lot of shit in here. And he talks about it all. And this is really like an elaboration, especially when you start bringing the history up. Because that slave trade book only focuses on one thing. The birth of the world, man as a hunter, the coming of agriculture, early social bonds, early dealings with between people. He's talking about all of that. The history of innovators, population increase, disease and medicine, war and battle, famine and food, techniques, agriculture, landlords and laborers, agriculture, slaves and serfs, cooperations, early history of soul, universal religion, law, government, and liberty. The Renaissance in Europe. It just goes on and on and on, man. We talk about a multitude of shit. Gunpowder wars. Most people don't even understand it. The age of steel, cotton is king. New sources of energy, steam and coal, the age of machines. They ain't in no particular order.
So that gunpowder thing, Abos, they think that they had guns over here. Like, I don't. No. We know that. We know that they really think that way. I don't. There's no evidence for it. Like, I don't know.
Right. Well, no gunpowder over this bitch. 26. Hold on, I'm what I just said that page was? 216.
See, look, Lucky said they say they invented the gun.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
Like, they just make
was the century of Leonardo and Uranus. It was the first. It said it was the first century of the effective use of gunpowder. 16th century.
Mm-hmm.
The origins of this commodity, like the other characteristic things of the Renaissance, are to be found in the Middle Ages and not primarily in Europe. In the late 17th century AD, Callinicus of Heliopolis, Syria, devised a fireball made of naphtha or liquid bitumen, which then mingled with sulfur and pitched and hurled at the Arab armies. Besieged Constantinople in 716, 718 AD to help the Greeks to victory. So that fireball was essential. That's the evolutionary spark of some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Its success resulted experiments with the combustible powders and liquids. The older Greek artillery based on twisting hair by torsions and used by Romans inadequate of Northern Europe, where it worked only in dry summer campaigns, which was a problem. With the fiber loss to elasticity. And then the first use of the hopow known in Europe was the trebuchet, whatever that's called. and it was used in China by the 11th century AD. The tilting engine throwing missile by the use of weight began to be used in Europe by the early 12th century. So they're just walking this shit all the way up. But we know, you know, China was essential in the gunpowder shit, yo.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I never really looked too deep into the gunpowder thing. I just know that it comes from there. And, you know, made its way around the world through the Europeans, really.
Around 1275, India and China, bro. Yep, the metallic guns. They were using metallic guns. The ingredients and all of that shit just evolved, man. People was evolved because they were making fireworks. The Chinese, they were popping fireworks.
That was they was playing with it.
In the gunpowder. Yeah. Not gonna be no shit. What no damn guns over here. Still ain't found no guns.
They're delusional, bro.
Man, Europeans bring guns, bro.
Yeah.
I did a whole build on the gun in Africa. Africans don't get the guns until they run in the hoop. The Europeans.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rum, guns and butter. That shit was.
And that just pushed the slave trade even more.
Yep. They was throwing that shit at first, blowing up their hands. Facts. That's facts. Yeah, they had to learn how to time that shit. It's like lighting a firecracker and holding on a little rocket and holding on to that bitch before you throw it. The next thing you got same shit. Just think of it that way for people.
Imagine that happening back then, though. Like, damn. You ain't got the, you know, ambulance and the hospital.
Look at this. This is so easily debunked. Columbus never found India. He never went to India, bro. So okay, so why would the Portuguese send Columbus? Columbus' ass ended up in a new world.
Like he don't get like they was trying to find another way there, so they already knew a way.
India,
so they already knew one way. They was trying to find another way because they was busy. There was too much, you know what I'm saying, shit for them to go through that Mediterranean Sea like that. Like they was beefing hard with the Muslims who was controlling the shit. That's just it.
We were not the enemy of the Portuguese at the time. The Portuguese were trying to befriend us in this trade. And once they began to establish relationships, either through their missionaries or through trade, then you will see the guns and shit like that show up. How the fuck do you think we got the guns? The guns really don't come into Africa. We don't take possession of those guns until later on, but hold on. Ah, man. This is why people got to research. But more importantly, they got to buy books regarding to certain subject matters so they can understand the validity of why I get a certain way. So you see this shit? The Gun in Central Africa, A History of Technology and Politics. What you think this book talking about, yo?
How it got there and then what they started doing with it.
This ain't the only book. UNESCO volumes, they talk about the guns. Show 3 books real quick. A 1,000 Years of West African History. They talk about the gun. Volume 1, Volume 2. Let me reverse them for the camera.
So Sean, who in West Africa, who gets the gun first? I would think Congo, somewhere in the Congo. That's just me guessing.
Nah. In West Africa, you see.
Yeah, West Africa.
Yeah. And so in West Africa, you will see some of the kings end up with the little pea shooters, right? But the more guns don't come to later on. The more guns doesn't come until like the British are established, the French are established, and then you see tribal wars, and they're using more guns to go and do raids.
Yeah.
And you see an amalgamation of shit happening at that point, and then you got the British playing both sides. That's how you come up with the Yoruba wars.
Yeah, well, bro, that's the same thing America does today, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
The same exact thing they do today. They play both sides.
You see this? This is a book right here. It's called Yoruba Warfare in the 19th Century. Somebody's trying to read that shit. Hopefully you can see it. Do it that way. It's the name of the book. And it talks about how they manipulated the fuck out of the Yoruba wars. They gave guns to both sides, bro.
Mm.
Yeah. The first influence of gangbanging in Africa was brought to us by the Europeans. We were already tribal people, but I'm being
they fed in. No, they fed into it because we was already tribal. So they just assisted what was already going on and pushed and motivated.
Right. But they used it to their advantage so that they could get what they needed from us.
Exactly.
So all in all, they manipulated their way into the shit, just like what they do now. Yeah. Let you get caught with some crack cocaine, they're gonna try to flip you, make you tell on your plug, so they're gonna manipulate the hell out of you. So they're gonna give you 20 years and shit. You sitting there trying to debate with the motherfucking police when the police ain't never sentenced nobody.
Word. Never.
For no reason. You making a deal with the wrong people.
You're right about that.
Let me see.
These youngins don't know nothing, though.
No, they don't. Dom Afonso V took over the government of Portugal in 1448, tried to conquer Morocco. I don't give two fucks about Morocco. Aziz Abe, no fucks about Morocco. None. They didn't even like us, bro. They didn't like our ancestors.
He said dudes act like the elite in Africa were dumb. That's not what we were saying. They not dumb because they took what they needed to. But the problem that we're talking about is that they was already tribal. So the white people, the Europeans, they just come in, and now if their goal is to get bodies, what are they gonna do? They know that wars brings prisoners of wars, so they're gonna incite these things. These things are already happening. Nobody's saying that anybody was dumb. Oh, like that's crazy.
Yeah, he tripping with no map. No map, bro.
He said the people that the Portuguese encountered were Moorish. What the one Adahu? That's the only Moor you hear about.
That's the only Moor you can talk about.
That's the only Moor you hear about. Because after that, they make the exchange for him, and then they get other people and they learn about places further south, and they was not. And that was the whole thing Adahu said. He said, "I'm gonna show you basically where black people, where there's other black people like me, but not Moors." That's what he said. So they know. Since he knows so much and he read the book, because that's where he's getting it from. He's getting it from the conquest of Guinea. So since you know so much in that book, he tells them that I'm gonna get you people that'll give you more information about people further south, and they're black like me, but not of the Moorish lineage. Like he's full of shit. Sean, who they think they playing with?
I don't know, bro.
Like we didn't read these things.
I don't know. I think that they think that people don't read.
I know you feel what I'm saying. I know exactly where he's getting these ideas from, but he just manipulating these things and leaving things out. You feel what I'm saying? Or was taught this, but they only showed him. They didn't show him the whole thing, so he didn't get to get everything in context. Something he's missing, but you got the right one up here.
Right.
Because that's exactly what the doctor said.
Yeah, but man, I'm about to shut it down, bro. Get ready for your shit. They said dude live, Garfield live, so I don't know. He's got some elbow lady over there. I ain't tapping in. I'm about to go mess with the dogs.
I'm gonna go listen and see what they doing over there. But yeah, I should be going live like around 8:30.
Okay, cool.
All right, I hope y'all pull up. Showing them a holler at you.
Yeah, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to Not a Coincidence channel. We're gonna be live. We're gonna get it in. All right, now to see. We'll catch you later, bro.
All right, peace, bro.
All right. Hey, man, thank everybody for tapping in. Please, again, like the show, share the show, tell a friend. We were live, and we is out.
I don't listen to people that I can't learn from. So I don't listen to interviews of artists that don't have no value in what they say. I don't listen to music from people that I can't get no game from. Are you the smartest one in your team? Definitely not. I might be the dumbest one.
So we have a lot to do. We must do our business, what we have to do the job. And we are not against anybody. It's not to be against. It's to know more about yourself and more about humanity and try to bring contribution to the is like that. So is this complex of inferiority is over. Like to say I'm doing well, I'm okay, healing me. Heal what? You are not sick. Well, heal for what? You have to do the job. We must do the job. We do well in some in art, in music, in athletics. We do well. We must do the same in business. We do well. We must in politics. We do well. So we must do well in a pure intellect business. We must do well too. Why not? We must learn Medu nature. We must know African language, African philosophy, African spirituality, African culture, African values. Know that very well. Bring that on table. Be proud of that. Because if it's lost, humanity will lose something. So it's good for us to bring this kind of. If they don't study Buddhism, we'll lose Buddhism. They must study Buddhism. If they don't study Christianity, the Bible, we lose that too. So it's good to study. Everything is a part of humanity, is a legacy. So we study because it's part of humanity. It's not to say we are proud, we did, came it, they did. Now we have to build a new pyramid. That's all. New schools, new homes, new families, new community, not people in jail, nothing like that. Be there and do well and be positive. This is what we have to do now.
I offended anybody, please forgive me, I'm so not sorry. You won't smoke, just keep it between me and you to get that pronto. They said smoke in the album, now they kept it.